Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Indian Trail High School today, here on Zaleski Sports from Kenosha Indian Trail High School. Today's game, a big one coming up here from Indian Trail High School. And we're going to give you start linings. We'll do the starting lineups after the national anthem. They're going to do them now, but we'll do them after here. But excited to be with you guys here for baseball season so far this year. It's going to be a big one here to open up the season. Oak Creek coming off a state appearance a year ago. And actually, we'll turn the audio towards the...
And batting ninth, number 21, the second baseman, Blake Uleski.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to the national anthem now here at Kenosha Indian Trail. Elijah's mic. Oh, no, we'll do Indian Trail first, introductions.
And now the starting lineup for your Indian Trail Hawks, managed by Lane Oaks. Batting leadoff, the second baseman, number 2, Connor Schrader. Batting second, shortstop, number 9, Jack Zeller. Batting third, the center fielder, number 6, Cade Monado. On the rubber today for the Hawks, batting cleanup, number 10, Sam Kellum. Batting fifth, doing the catching, number 8, Brad Philippus. Batting sixth, playing third, number 25, Talon A. In left field, batting seventh, number 3, Nick Bath. Batting eighth, in right field, number 12, Drake DeWilt. And batting ninth, playing first, number 7, Sam Olozzi. Those are your Indian Trail Hawks. Now, if able, we ask that everybody please rise, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. WIAA required good sportsmanship.
Back here on Zaleski Sports from Indian Trail High School. Matt Peck, Elijah Vixalata here for boys baseball between the Oak Creek Knights and the Indian Trail Hawks here in the Southeast Conference. Oak Creek coached by Scott Howler, Indian Trail coached by Lane Oaks. So Indian Trail, the home team today. These two were supposed to play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They're playing their first game of the series now today here at Indian Trail. So they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow after today at Oak Creek. So starting off on a different kind of foot here. So many delays to start the year. And we were supposed to have Indian Trail on last week against West Tosha and postponed. So
we're in Wisconsin, so anything can happen.
That's for sure. So Indian Trail takes the field here. And Sam Callow will be the starting pitcher for Indian Trail today. Sam Callow, one of those names that you have to watch in the state of Wisconsin especially. A year ago, he took down this very Oak Creek team in the first game of the series when they played each other, not right off the bat to start the season, but one to watch out for. We'll look at some notes about Indian Trail if I can find them on PBR. They're number 13 in the state to start the season by Prep Baseball Report. Number 14, yeah, that's what I just said. Last year they were 20-9. They lost key players Seth Kosey, Connor Foster, and Bradley Baumkamp, Adrian Maio, and Peyton Mancusi, but they bring back some good players as well this year. Jack Zeller, one name to watch, Sam Callow, who's on the starting mound today, Connor Peck, Briar Tho, and Cade Minato. So those are some key players that Indian Trail brings back this year. And the X factor for this team, they'd say, is Jack Zeller. Jack Zeller today, the starting, let's get this up and make sure I got it right. Jack Zeller will be starting at, I just had it up. Right field. We got Jack Zeller in right field, and he's batting. So you'll see him come up, I think, second in this lineup. Shada will be the leading off. So we'll read off Indian Trail's position numbers meanwhile at it. Zeller is actually number 9, so he's not playing right field. I meant to say that wrong. I read that wrong. So Shada batting first, Zeller second, Minato third, Callow fourth, Philippus 5, 86, Beth 7, D. Wilton 8, and Aluzzi 9. That's the starting lineup for Indian Trail Hawks, and on the bump today is Sam Callow. If I could pull up his numbers correctly here, if he's got a profile here, he's committed to Wisconsin Platteville. So UW Platteville is where Sam Callow is committed this year. So that's where he'll be playing baseball after this year. So it'll be interesting to see what this Indian Trail team comes out with. They are predicted first in the Southeast Conference. Oak Creek won the conference last year, a year ago. But it's going to be an interesting slate. You know, we called Oak Creek last year at state, and, they fell in the semifinal after blowing a significant lead against Sun Prairie East.
First pitch, 50 degrees with a feels like a 47 wind blowing in from the left field corner.
50 degrees. Nice spring ball weather for our opening day here in the Milwaukee area.
Leading off for the Knights,
yes,
Brandon
it is.
Brandon
Brycemeister will lead off. He is in, if I can get this up correctly. And meanwhile, strike one, Sam Callow delivers strike one. So we're underway here at Indian Trail. Opening day for us on the network as well. Brycemeister playing center field, the leadoff hitter today for the Knights.
Once again, another thing to notice, Oak Creek 7 new starters this year from that state run. So this is a very different team from that state run as, was it strike?
Yep, so quickly 0-2 here on Brandon Brycemeister to start off the game here. And Sam Callow delivering 2 strikes right off the bat, and this is a highly anticipated matchup here in Kenosha County today.
We'll see how these young guns for Oak Creek, a reloaded squad, does against the high powerhouse team of Indian Trail this year.
Yep, so ball 3 a little bit outside and high, so 1 ball, 2 strikes quickly. We'll continue to say the count as we cannot put it on the screen with our new update, but we'll say the count out loud. But like we talked about, Oak Creek only a couple notable starters. Ryan Buckta, the starting pitcher this year, is one of the returning their ace. He replaces Peyton Gibbon in the ace role, but then you got Nate Schaaf, who will be playing left field, and Mac Endres, one of them too, and Brandon Brycemeister. I think he was on a team last year too for the Oak Creek on varsity, but a lot of new players like Scott Holler told us before the game. So here's the next pitch here now on 2-2, and it's low in the dirt, ball 3.
Yeah, Mac Endres and Nate Schaaf, 2 power bats. That's what Holler wants to see in a return, right? 2 really good, strong bats, and then to have another guy that has state experience in Ryan Buckta as your ace this year, a big off-speed, your pitcher guy.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, and swing and a miss, strike 3. Brycemeister goes down. It's 1 down. A strikeout right away for Sam Callow. Took him 5 pitches to do so. And it'll be 1 down now, and they'll send up.
Jeske.
I think it's Charles Jeske. I don't have the first names here. Camden Jeske. So Camden Jeske will come out. Now, one of the new players Scott Holler was talking about, they'll have to get in the field of varsity role. Callow delivers his first pitch in there for a strike, hits the outside corner, quickly 0-1. Callow starting off with only 2 balls on that first tee. Obviously, he went on the 3-2 last one, straight down the pipe for strike 3. So he had him at 3-2. Briesmeister took him, but after going down 0-2, but Callow ended up winning that battle. And that pitch is high in the air, 1-1 now. 1 down here in the first inning. So yeah, we were talking to Lane Oaks before the game too as well. They're another battle-tested team too, who a year ago fell to Oak Creek 2 out of 3 in this series. This is one of the only conferences in the state that play 3 games per series. But they fell 2 out of 3, but they beat them the first game of the series. So they were looking to set a tone early on as that one's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Jeske. One of the returning starters up next is Nate Schaff, the left fielder. It's one kid that you got to watch on the team this year. He's one of the players from the state run a year ago that actually returned this year, as Oak Creek lost a lot of kids. And that one goes foul off to the left side, out of bounds, behind us. And the nice car cracking noise. Imagine. I feel like a car is going to get hit today. There's a lot of cars down here, and that's why I told you when you got
I made
here.
sure, to park on the street.
Yeah.
But you never know still. I mean, with some people's power,
Yeah, 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here on Jeske. Callow's pitch here is high. And actually, it was 3. Now it's 3-1. It looked like it was 3-1 from here.
Callow looks like he's just kind of working his counts right now here, trying to see what he can give here.
3-2. It's 3-2.
Full count on both at bat so far.
So Callow up to 11 pitches a star here. 3-2 now on Jeske. And ball 4. So Jeske works a walk here, and that will send up Nate Schaff, one of the returning veterans on this team, who's got quite a few power. I think he hit a home run in one of our games last year. So he's got to be. He's not one you want to give a good pitch because he could ride on it and take it out. Obviously, center field here looks like it's 374. And left field is 314, so not sure what the dimensions are there over Creek, but we saw him hit a home run a year ago against Franklin. And I got to look on PBR, but I can't remember Nate Schaff's committed anywhere. And here's the lead over there from Jeske, and goes quickly, retreats back as the first pitch is a ball here. 1 out, 1 down here in the first inning. Like we talked about a little bit ago, Indian Trail ranked 14 in the state by Prep Baseball Report. Oak Creek unranked for the first time in several years. But like Scott Holler said, the new Knights. As that one's in the dirt, and he's going to be able to take off on it. Throw down to second, not in time. So Jeske steals the base. That ball quickly got away from Philippus. He did a good job keeping it in front of him, but not able to get the throw down. Oak Creek right away got a runner in scoring position with 1 down. So it sends up Nate Schaff again, 2-0 already on Nate Schaff. And obviously it's one of those first games. You're going to see a couple errors today. Indian Trail by now should have had probably 4 games down, but all postponed. Like I mentioned, this series was supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Instead, it's Friday and 2 on Saturday. So, and today's game was actually supposed to be at Oak Creek. And we'll just say it this way. The weather is the reason why we were here. Because I don't know if we would have been at this game hadn't there been a postponement before. So 3 balls, no strikes on Schaff. Here's the pitch, and it's high, ball 4. So Nate Schaff works a walk here, and Oak Creek's got 2 on here in the first inning, 1 out.
Probably trying to get the jitters out, first game jitters out too, right?
Yeah. So 1 down.
They got a really big power bat coming up in Mac Endress.
Yeah, he's another one that's returning from that state run a couple years ago.
I think he's one of the youngins, right? He's one of the youngins from that state roster.
I think he might be a junior this year, so he'd still be here next year for the 2026 season. And in the 2026 season, they are in the Classic 8 conference. This is the final year Oak Creek starting out in the Southeast.
They'll be fine in the Classic 8, though, I think. They got a really good coach.
Yeah. Well, at least they're reloading in the Southeast.
This is the year to do it. Yeah. Before you had a really tough conference with Arrowhead, Kettle Moraine, Muskego. Yeah.
Yeah, Muskego, obviously one of those tough teams.
Waukesha West is pretty good, too.
Muskego is one of those tough teams we talked about, obviously ranked number 1 in the state, but they've already lost this year to Whitnall in a 9-3 battle last week. So early in the year is the time to beat these ranked teams. So Oak Creek's probably got that in their mind here against this Indian Trail squad. So 2 on, 1 strike so far on Mac Endres. Here's Callow's pitch. And Endres lines that one through, base hit. Scott Holler will give him the wave. And it gets through the left fielder's hands. And here we go. He's going to send one more guy here home. We're going to have 2 runs scoring here. And Oak Creek with the 2-0 lead here. Jeske and Schaff. Schaff comes all the way home from first. And it's a 2-0 Oak Creek lead here. And it's going to be an error on Beth in left field as that ball got past him briefly. But Oak Creek jumps on the board here early in the first inning. So it'll be ruled a double for Endres, technically. But there was an error committed in left field.
Kind of remind me of Trent Grisham.
Yeah, don't tell a Brewer fan that. So Oak Creek strikes here first. And now they'll send up Simmons to the plate. Simmons, and that one's in the air to right field. D. Wilt underneath it makes the catch. And gives it in to the second baseman, Shada. So there's 2 down here in the first inning. That was a line out. And they're kind of doing some resetting on game changer here. Endres' thing was rule a single, and Nate Schaff technically scored home on the air. So Brian Simmons lines out to right. So now that will send up Villarreal, I'm not sure if I said that right. I think he's one of the new. I think he might have been on the varsity team last year on the bench, and that one's foul off the catcher's mask. Actually, I don't even know if that was fouled. I think
the plate for Oak Creek is number 20 right fielder Jacksonville Real.
But Oak Creek kind of got themselves in a good position here in the first inning, going on with 2 runs. Obviously, one of them would have scored, but the second one came courtesy of the error by Beth in left field.
Villarreal also a really big football player as well, so
yeah,
he could use his big strength here to get a big hit for Oak Creek to extend some insurance here.
Here's the pitch. Pitch is high. Ball up 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here now. 2-0 lead for the Knights. Runner on second now, and that one's fouled back to the left screen. Endres on second. He got the single, but technically he was at second. But like I mentioned before, it was an error, so that's what kind of got Schaff home. But it was a good advantage for Oak Creek early on to take advantage of it. That's what we're talking about here. Kind of in these first early games, you're going to see some errors because, you know, you've been practicing, but you haven't gotten real game action yet, and that's a good block back there by Felippes. That gets up to 2 balls, 2 strikes now. 2 outs here in the first inning. Callow up to 22 pitches here in the first inning.
Young guns showing off their bats so far for Oak Creek, though, and their discipline as well, showing that they're made for the moment early on for Oak Creek.
Doing a pretty good job here early on, especially. Here's the pitch, and that one's in the air to left. It might go on the third base side, racing over to the end, and out of play. It stays in play, but nobody was able to get there. Adi and Beth both going towards it, and Zeller even got over there too, but nobody able to come away with the catch. So now it'll still remain 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here. Oak Creek has Endres on second. James Villarreal at the plate. Daco will be up next. He's technically the designated hitter for Ryan Buckta, the pitcher for the Knights in the lineup. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Callow's pitch, and that one's in the air, popped high. Will that stay in play? It looks like it's going to on the third base side.
Dugouts come out.
Yeah, dugout's in the way. He does make the catch, and 80 makes the catch, and we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Oak Creek's tags on 2, and we'll be back for Indian Trails at bat after this.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fear, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, bottom of the first inning here. Oak Creek tags on 2 in the top of the first. 1 via single, but there was an error that happened by the left fielder on the single. That's what brought home the other run. But talking about Oak Creek once, Ryan Buckta, the starting pitcher for Oak Creek, he takes over Peyton Gibbons' role of the ace of this team. He's starting here on opening day for the Knights. And let's talk about Indian Trail's lineup once. Obviously, this is supposed to be the best year they've had in a while. I mean, this is Gavin Lux's alma mater. We talk baseball was big here. Lane Oaks, the head coach, played with Gavin Lux. I'm pretty sure I heard that. Yep, that's correct. I got that. So, a lot of baseball history at this school. But Indian Trail, I mean, they brought in a lot of players in this year. Obviously, Jack Zeller is the one X factor that PBR is talking about, and we're going to use him too here. And Sam Callow, who we just saw pitching, who I think is also hitting today too. So, 2 big X factors for the Indian Trail Hawks today here that you'll have to watch out for on this side. But it'll be interesting to see what Indian Trail can put together here in the first inning. Obviously, Oak Creek got some a little bit used to the bats here. But heading up first will be, get the lineup, is
Shada.
Shada, yep. I'm not sure if Indian Trail's running game changer today. Oak Creek is. Doesn't look like it. So we'll just use Oak Creek's game changer, but they got both teams' names in it, so we're fine. So
Now Ryan Buckta, let's see how he does too. I mean, like we said, he was a big part of that state appearance run last year. He uses his breaking balls really well when he pitches. So not a big velo guy,
yeah,
but he definitely is one of the best pitchers that the Knights had last year, and he's willing to take that ace role this year for his senior year.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what he can put together this year. Shada will have to head up to the plate for Kenosha Indian Trail now. And Buckta steps in here now. Here's the first pitch from Buckta, and it's in there for strike one. Kind of hit the paint of that outside corner, so 0-1 right away on Shada. Yeah, Indian Trail are going to have a pretty good offense this year from what we talked about. Obviously, reading through their stats a year ago. They put up a few good numbers last year, but just the returning starter depth is what's going to be huge for Indian Trail. It's quickly 0-2 now on Shada. So Buckta doing a good job coming out with 2 strikes to start here. Here's the next pitch from Buckta, and it's fouled away all the way into the parking lot. Yeah, somebody's car probably got dented on that one. It's been a while since I've been here. I think it was here 2 years ago. It was a playoff game against Greenfield. Indian Trail, that's another thing.
And you worked with
yeah, that's another thing we talked about. Indian Trail and Greenfield a couple years ago. Meanwhile, strike 3 by Buckta, sinking curveball that time.
And that's what I mean right there. Buckta, you really uses those breaking balls really well to get the strikeouts. Like I said, not a big velo pitcher, but he used it really well that time.
Yeah, now here comes off the X Factor we were talking about, Jack Zeller, one of the best players in the state you're going to have to watch out for. 2025 class senior, getting his first at bat this year, batting second for.
So was one of the best players for the basketball team as well this season.
Yeah, Rob Van Dyke, we didn't get to see his squad this year, but.
Almost like Kyle Brannigan.
So Zeller steps in. First pitch, he hits that one to second. Uzelski on to first in time. So Uzelski to Jeski, and it's 2 down right away for the Indian Trail Hawks.
Zeller wasn't messing around right there, chasing at the first pitch. Yeah. He's like, I see what he does for his stuff.
Number 6, Cade Minato.
Cade Minato will come up now for the Indian Trail Hawks here with 2 down right away. Buckta only had 5 pitches here in the first inning. So far doing a good job. Minato, one of those, I think, other returning starters as well that Lane Oaks was highlighting before the game. So Buckta steps in now, and that pitch sinks down, strike 1. And I know so far with Buckta, he's got some pretty good movement on those pitches early on.
I'm sure with PBR, he was one of the players to watch too for Oak Creek, right?
Oak Creek. They didn't put a listing out because they weren't ranked, but he would have been definitely probably one of the top guys. And it's quickly 0-2 on Minato here in the first inning. So no balls, 2 strikes on Minato. I think Buckta's yet to throw a ball here in the first. And that one's fouled back. So Minato staying in there, fighting in the box early on. So still remains 0-2. Buckta steps back on the rubber here now, up to 7 pitches here in the first inning.
Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean.
This would be a picture-perfect inning if he could get out of this.
And way high that time.
Right as I say that.
It's his first ball of the day. so far. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oak Creek a year ago to get the state, they went through.
That Nate Anastas catching,
Yeah,
pushing the buttons for Ryan Buckta.
So Indian Trail was the team Oak Creek beat to get the state in the sectional final a year ago at South Milwaukee. So Indian Trail with first-year Lane Oaks, they were right there, a game away from state. So that was quite a first year they had over there. And swing and a miss, strike 3. So Ryan Buckta, 3 up, 3 down here in the first inning. We'll head to the second here, 2-0 Oak Creek.
The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
All right, back here in the second inning here from Indian Trail High School. Oak Creek with a 2-0 lead here. RBI is coming from, one RBI technically coming from Mac Andres. The other one was via air that was scored in left field. But Oak Creek off to a pretty good start on a young season. Scott Holler was telling us about before the game. He was saying, you get to see the young, fresh Knights. It's been a while since he's had a team like this. He's always, I think this is the most starters he's lost in a year in quite a few years. But, Scott Holler obviously still a really good coach, so he'll find a way to be in that Southeast Conference run.
Had a couple runs at state back at when, right? When in the beginning of his tenure with the Oak Creek Knights.
That was back in summer ball, 2012, right around there. I think he won 2014, right around there.
He's got to be really pleased through one inning. I mean, those 2 runs and then that 3 up, 3 down inning for Ryan Buckta, that new ace for the Knights.
A couple scores here in the Southeast Conference. Franklin and Racine Case, 0-0 in the second inning over there at Racine Case. And meanwhile, Kenosha Tremper with the 2-0 lead over Kenosha Bradford. That's over at Bradford High School today. Still the first inning over there at Bradford High School. And we're back here now, 2-0 Oak Creek lead. And this is kind of interesting because everybody in Oak Creek's conference, I think, has played a game besides these 2 so far. Park and Horlick are playing today as well, too. I think they both already played. So this is the first.
Most teams played earlier this week, right?
Number 5, Carson Doschel.
So Carson Dockel will bat here for Oak Creek to lead off the inning here with a 2-0 lead. So Oak Creek's got some runs to play with here. They attacked Callow early on and able to get one down there in left field. So Callow steps on the mound here now to start the second inning, and that pitch is ball 1. I thought I heard somebody say strike, so I was waiting on that one. So Carson Dockel steps in. I think he was on the football team at Oak Creek. I remember that name.
Yep.
Briefly.
I think he was a tight end as well. So
2 football players we've counted so far, and I'm sure Indian Trails, obviously we talked about, got a basketball player, Jack Zeller. So a lot of multi-sport athletes on both teams. 2-0 now quickly on Dockel. Dockel steps back in now. Up 2-0. Here's a pitch from Callow. Swings and a miss, strike 1. Callow went right to that one. He kind of gave him a little bit higher pitch there, but it was probably would have been a strike had he not swung on it. It was close. Let's say it that way. So 2-1 now on Dockel here in the second inning. And swing and a miss, strike 2. It didn't look like he wanted to go at that one, but he went at it. So now quickly 2-2. So Callow has fought back here now. And that's kind of what he struggled with towards the end of last inning, is finishing the batters. Especially against Mac Andres, giving up that hit. Let's see if he can finish Dockel right here. Callow's delivery. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Callow gets his second strikeout of the day. So far the stat line for Callow is he's allowed 1 earned run, 2 walks, and now his second strikeout.
6, Nate Anastas.
So he's up to 30 pitches now with 1 down here in the second inning. So Nate Anastas will come up. Here's the delivery from Callow. That one's popped up in the air. First base side. It's staying in. He makes the catch over there. Aluzzi that time. So 2 down right away.
Try to see it on that first pitch again, too. We've seen that a couple times on both ends.
Yeah. So Oak Creek kind of like learning from what they did last year because
Now batting
if I recall last
second
year.
baseman number 21, Blake Ulizeski.
So Blake Ulizeski will come up. We were talking about state last year. Sun Prairie East came up with a tactic where they were attacking every first pitch, and Oak Creek gave up like 5 runs straight from it, and they were all in the first pitch. So Sun Prairie East had a tactic, and that one's on a line drive to second base, and Shada makes the catch, and it's quickly a second inning for Sam Callow that time. So coming up now, Indian Trail down 2-0 still here in the second.
At Ridgetop, we are your trusted, local, affordable exterior renovations expert. Isn't that right, Bo?
Exactly, especially when we are working on someone's biggest investment.
Can you give us an example, Bo?
Well, there was this house. We replaced the roofing, siding, and windows. Then they left a 5-star review.
One of our thousands of 5-star reviews?
Exactly.
For your free, no obligation estimate, call us today or go to ridgetopexteriors.com.
At Fleet Farm, we're all about your everyday, but not just any old day. Here, every day's opening day. Every day's a school day. Every day's a monster day. And every day is too short. Whatever makes your day, Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life.
Back here on Zaleski Sports here from Indian Trail High School. We're going to talk about one of the notable alumni from Indian Trail here. Many of you know him well, the second baseman now for the Cincinnati Reds, Gavin Lux. 3 notables on Kenosha Indian Trail staff that played with Gavin Lux, so they all know him pretty well, so including head coach Lane Oakes, one of them. So a lot of baseball history here, especially that was probably about, so we're in 2025 now, about 10 years ago. Gavin Lux was in high school, got drafted right outside of high school to the MLB. Ended up winning a World Series with the Los Angeles Dodgers last year before being traded to the Cincinnati Reds over the offseason. So Gavin Lux just in town last weekend, and you know
what I overheard Brian Anderson, the Brewers play-by-play announcer during that game too. He said maybe down the line he's meant to be a Brewer.
Yeah, you never know. I'd love to see it.
I would love to see that too. For us being Brewers fans.
Ready, the pitcher, number 10, Sam Callow.
So Sam Callow will come up here in the bottom of the second to lead it off. He's today's pitcher for Indian Trail as well. So Sam Callow steps in here now. Ryan Buckta, pretty clean first inning. 3 up, 3 down, right for him right away. And I think he did under 10 pitches. So Sam Callow takes ball 1. A little bit inside that time. So Indian Trail, I'm sure Lane Oakes wants to get some offense moving here after the first inning, but Oak Creek had a pretty good offensive production first inning, but second inning they went 3 up, 3 down. So maybe this will be Indian Trail's inning. That one's on a bounce to Buckta.
I'll make a quick play here.
Buckta to first in time to Jeske. So 1 down for Oak Creek right away.
Now batting, the catcher, number 8, Brad Philippis.
Brad Philippis, the catcher, will come up now. And I talked about these slow starts, especially with these ranked teams. I went and watched Muskego versus Whitnell last week. Whitnell was ranked 24, I think, and Muskego obviously number 1. We were talking about them earlier, but Muskego lost 9-3, and they just didn't look like they had in that game.
That's a really big shocker.
I know. They lost by like 3 or 4. They gave up 3 or 4 runs in the 7th inning alone. There were some errors being made. I'm like, early in the season, this is your time to beat the better teams. And Buckta, again on the first pitch, gets the grounder. On the first in time, Jeske. Buckta to Jeske. 2 down quickly here in the second inning.
Indian Trail really trying to go after that first pitch right now, huh? They're really trying to see Buckta early on, and it's kind of really making him pay because they're not really hitting some really hard grounders even either. It's like just routine plays, almost like like how they do a BP before the game or even hit grounders. That's what they work on. So and Buckta getting some work in, sending back-to-back grounders.
So Till and Aid will come up now. 2 down here in the second inning.
That was only 2 pitches too?
Yeah. And that one's in the air to right field, and it drops in for a base hit. Indian Trail's first hit of the day from Till and Aid.
And
so first pitch you were talking about, they're going after the first pitch right away every time.
They're seeing his pitches really well right now. That's one of the big things you got to see out of that.
Number 3, Nick Beth.
So Nick Beth will come up here with 2 down here in the first inning. He steps in here now, 2 down. He's got Aid on first base. I will see. Interesting to see if Indian Trail will be aggressive and steal. Yep, they will. Aid goes. Thrown on a second is not in time. Too high of a throw that time from Anastas that time. But, better throw on the line. They might get him that time. I kind of thought Lane Oaks would be aggressive there, try to get a runner in scoring position.
Nostis has a really big role to fill, too, in the hands of Nate Hannell from that state run last year.
Yeah, so able to steal second base, and that's a big steal. So now if Beth can put it in play here, it's possibly a 2-1 game if you get it to the outfield, depending on the arms of Schaff, Briesmeister, or Villarreal out there. So Beth steps back in here now. 1-0, 2 down here in the second inning. Wow, I'm already losing it. So 1-0.
First game.
Yeah, 1-0. And pitches in there for a strike. Kind of hits that right corner.
These guys both play a doubleheader at Oak Creek East Middle School tomorrow, right?
Yeah. 11 and probably right after 11. So 1:30, 2 o'clock, whenever the first game finishes.
We'll have a game tomorrow morning.
We're the Eau Claire broadcast tomorrow. Eau Claire Memorial at Arrowhead, but it's at Oconomowoc Lake Country Dock Stadium. So we'll be with you tomorrow. And then next week, possibly a softball game Tuesday or Thursday, but after that, it's PBR next weekend at the Rock. It's maybe a game Friday, but otherwise Saturday, it's a doubleheader with Kimberly Monona Grove and Wisconsin Lutheran in Germantown.
If I were to recall, talking about Eau Claire Memorial, they got the star Cooper Jesperson, right?
Yeah,
he's also the big man for Eau Claire Memorial.
Tomorrow, this is the only matchup we have this week that's not two teams ranked.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow the Eau Claire Memorial is ranked in the teens somewhere, and Arrowhead's in the top 10. And that one's ripped up the middle. Caught by Simmons that time. He saves a run up the middle, and we'll head to the third inning. Oak Creek still clean. 2-0 Oak Creek here at the end of the second.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Rich, creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine-free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
All right, we're back.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, third inning coming up here. Oak Creek with a 2-0 lead. Unranked Oak Creek against number 14 Indian Trail. Sam Callow, a year ago they lost to him. But like I said, there's still 4 innings left in this game. Indian Trail has plenty of time here.
Well, like you said, like the dark house teams, they struggle at times here trying to get the jitters out the way. First game of the year.
Muskego, yeah, they put a pounding on Wauwatosa West, but Muskego only beat South Milwaukee yesterday 2-1 at South Milwaukee. So Muskego kind of showing some early season jitters, but
I think it just shows. Oak Creek, they have state talent on their team from last year.
Yeah, and they obviously get some of these guys experience. You can get some of these new starters experience in their first year in the Classic 8 next year.
We're already flying by, though, huh? Backpack.
Third inning. I told you some of these baseball games, you're sitting here and you blink your eye, it's already over.
Most of it's probably because Indian Trail, most of it's because Indian Trail, they've been attacking Buckta a lot, trying to go after those first pitches, and they really haven't been hitting those grounders. How like when you hit like a big chopper grounder, like it's hard to catch up to.
Yeah.
Right now, that hasn't really been the case. They're hitting soft grounders as well.
Southeast score update: Franklin 2, Racine Case 0 in the second inning. That's
0-0 or 2-0. You said
2-0 in the second inning. Franklin leads over there at Racine Case High School.
Leading the inning off for Oak Creek, the leadoff hitter, center fielder number 2, Brendan Bergmeister.
So Brendan
Briesmeister
will lead off here. He's a leadoff hitter, and he'll start us out here in the third inning. So he steps in. Callow delivers the first pitch here. And that pitch is low in the dirt, ball 1. So 2-0 game here. Oak Creek gets 2 runs in the first inning. Mac Andres with the RBI. One of them not earned because of an error committed in the outfield on the exchange. So 1-0 now. And Briesmeister swings and misses, strike 1. Callow up to 34 pitches on the afternoon here.
He's really started to dial in after giving up those first 2 runs in that first.
Yeah, he's done a better job since that first inning. The first inning was a little bit shaky for him, but he's come back in the second inning, went 3 up, 3 down. We'll see what he can do here in the third inning. And that one's ripped in the air to left field. Out on it is Beth. He makes the catch, Nick Beth out there, so 1 down here for Indian Trail.
Now batting the first baseman, number 27, Camden Jetski.
So setting up now is that one's outside, ball 1. Can you hear me? Oh, I unplugged this just to see.
I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Well, that was unplugged anyway, so.
That's why I did it.
I was
I
like,
was just testing some. All right, that one's up in the air to center, between center. That's carrying back, but the right fielder will make the catch that time. D. Wilt, and it's 2 down here. Jeske got a power in that one. It looked like it possibly would get over, but it didn't that time.
And now Oak Creek's starting to try to chase after those first pitches right away, right? Against Callow.
So 2 down now. Send up Nate Schaff, one of the veterans on this team. He walked his first time at the plate. You can tell he wants to swing the bat today.
Nate Schaff has been a varsity star for, I think it was at least 3 seasons, right?
And Nate Schaff on the first pitch to Callow. Callow turns around, throws it to first, and he gets the bag. Aluzzi had to come off a little bit, but he still gets it. So
it's a game of chasing first pitches.
Yeah, so we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Oak Creek 2, Indian Trail 0.
ZaleskiSports.com has leveled up. Go to ZaleskiSports.com and choose your favorite schools for easy navigation. From the homepage, choose your school to see team records, upcoming schedules, and past results. Use the video icon to launch the next broadcast. Use the arrow icon to watch any previous broadcasts. See the full weekly schedule too. Level up at ZaleskiSports.com. Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, 2-0 game here in the 1st inning between Oak Creek and Indian Trail. In the 3rd inning, oh my goodness, I keep saying the wrong inning. Indian Trail waiting to get those bats moving. They got 1 hit today so far. Both teams with 1 hit on the offensive side. Oak Creek drew a couple walks in the 1st inning, kind of what got their runners on base. But Brian Buck out there he had not so clean of an inning. He still had a clean inning last inning, obviously 0 runs, but his 1st inning was really clean. Less than 10 pitches, he was out of it with 3 outs already. So we'll see what Indian Trail can do here in the 3rd inning as the on-2 was called, and we'll start the 3rd inning here.
Leading the inning up for the Hawks, right fielder number 12, Drake Terwell.
So Indian Trail will come with the bat here now. 2-0 lead, 2-0 trailing, I should say. 2-0 lead for the defense. Oak Creek Knights here right now. Oak Creek, we saw it quite a bit last year. We saw them against, Kimberly, the stream broke, but we still were there in Franklin's game last year. That one's outside, ball 1 to start the batter here. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, the first game for both teams, these two got 2 cracks at each other tomorrow again right away.
Doubleheader, right?
Yeah.
At Oak Creek, both.
Yeah, so they'll head up to Oak Creek tomorrow, and Lane Oaks comes out to talk to the umpire real quick about something. I think the umpire's got his lineup card out. Can't tell, though. Probably something that's not too serious, but you never know. It does look like he's showing him something. And now the umpire will call time. It looks like it's something with the defense. And he's going to call head coach Scott Holler out. So keep in mind, I think this year technically in the WIAA, it's legal now to have a pitch comm with your pitcher and your catcher.
Yeah.
Now like the MLB, so maybe there's something wrong with the catcher's comm. Because I see him pointing towards his ear.
It's the first year they're using this too?
Yeah, and I know it got approved last summer for the NFHS, but Oak Creek reminds most teams would use it. But
I mean, we even see this happen in the MLB too when it's not working.
But I'm just kind of confused why Indian Trail's coach would be out there about that. So, it's not something we know. Nothing serious. So, play on. 1 ball, no strikes here in the 1st inning.
Better have an extra one with some juice in it, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, 1-0 now in the 1st inning. D. Wilt steps in here, 1-0. Here's the pitch from Buckta. Sinks down for strike one. You know, that movement pitch for him has just been there all day. Indian Trail's turned on that one a couple times, but it's been a good pitch for Buckta all day. Here's the next pitch from Buckta, 1-1. In there again for strike two, so 1 ball, 2 strikes here. No outs yet here in the first inning. Kenosha, pretty good baseball city. I mean, obviously Trepper's consistently good every year. Kenosha Indian Trail usually got a 500 record every year. And Bradford, about 10 years ago, they were in the state tournament. So Kenosha's produced some pretty good baseball teams over the years. And that one's on the ground to first base. That's Jeske with it. He'll run, and he'll win the match over to first base with D-Wilt that time. So 1 down here in the first inning. Third inning.
Now batting first baseman number 7, Sam Maluzzi.
The game's going so fast that you forget which inning we're in.
Yeah. Sam Maluzzi will come up now with 1 down here. So Buckta in there with 23 pitches only here in the third inning. That's a really good pitching stop for him. And that one's down low, ball 1. We're talking about the Southeast Conference a little bit this year. Obviously, Indian Trail, the predicted winners of the conference. I didn't see the predictions, but seeing that they were ranked higher in the yearbook from the screenshots I got, I would assume they were predicted, and I think the conference order would go Franklin, Oak Creek, Franklin. But meanwhile, a base hit that time from Maluzzi, Sam Maluzzi that time, on board for Indian Trail's second hit of the day. But going back to the conference, you know, we talked about Indian Trail predicted first, Oak Creek second, and then I would assume it's Franklin third, and then probably Tremper fourth.
Second baseman,
and talking about Franklin real quick, it's a huge blow that they lose their pitcher, and he plays first, sometimes a DH. Ben Vergis, the 3-sport guy, I call him Iron Man. He got to be in the house for all 3 sports in the Milwaukee area. He should be honored, right?
Yeah. Connor Shallow at the plate now. 1 down here now. Aluzzi at first base. And that one's ripped to right field. Base hit! The Indian Trail starting to maybe heat those bats up a little bit now. And now Indian Trail with runners on first and second here, 1 out. And they're, like you said before, they're attacking that first pitch, and they did it once again.
And you get one of your best hitters up to the plate, and arguably the best, Jack Zeller.
Yeah, he's going to be – this is not the situation where Scott Holler probably wants to have Jack Zeller at the plate with 2 runners on, because I've seen him – you know, he can hit those corners really well in the outfield. You know, he can put one down the line. He can put one in the gap. You know, Oak Creek's kind of playing that – normal shift. They're not shifting towards the right field line like he might on a lefty, so they might not be tempting him to hit it that way. But Oak Creek's that team that's got information on players. So 1 down here for Zeller. Zeller on the first pitch. That one gets by, and second and third runners will move up 90 feet. And wait a minute, they were about to send Aluzzi home almost. Lane Oaks had to pull him back. Can't touch the runner, otherwise he's automatically out. He didn't pull him back, but he's like, hey, man, stop. But looked like he was about to send them at first. But Indian Trail moves up runners 90 feet. Now they have 2 runners in scoring position to tie this game with arguably the best player on the team up at the plate. So 1 down now here. 1 ball here on Zeller. Buckta sets here. Here's the pitch. Zeller inside. That pitch gets away. And Indian Trail's on the board for the first time today. Aluzzi comes home. Shada moves up to third, and Indian Trail gets a runner all the way from second to home in just 2 pitches from pass balls.
Buckta, he was locating his pitches through those first 2 innings with those breaking balls. Right now he's having a little bit of trouble, and it's really coming back to bite him right now.
And this is not the way if you're Oak Creek you want to give up runs just on pass balls. You kind of want to get him to try to get the ball in play. But so now, be 2-0 now on Zeller, and Zeller lines that one to the right side foul on the ground. You know, I can kind of tell a little bit, like the first 2 pitches I saw, they're not, like he's trying really hard not to give him one in the zone because he knows what can happen with Zeller here. And Zeller, you know, one of those tough hitters to pitch around. I mean, we saw him play last year once, and he came up with some clutch hits for this Indian Trail team that won 20 games a year ago. And that one's in the air to center field. Briesmeister underneath it. He's going to make the catch, and he's going to send home. Here's the throw to the plate, and on the line, safe, nearly got in there. The throw would have been a little bit earlier, might have got him, but Briesmeister with a pretty good throw home. Shada scores, and we're tied up here in the 3rd inning.
Get the job done that time. All he needed to do was send a big line drive to center field, and really made him work for that one.
Fielder, number 6, Cade Minato.
So Cade Minato comes up now. It's a tie game for Indian Trail here now.
Couldn't have asked for a better throw from Briesmeister too, right?
Yeah, that was right on the money, but, you know, it just wasn't there early enough. you get that little bit more whip on that throw, you probably got shot and nailed it to play. So obviously Indian Trail saw that, and they're like, hey, the center fielder's got an arm for the future. Now Scott Holler calls time, and he's going to come out. Uh-oh. Now we got a situation with both coaches yapping now. First game of the year, here we go. Oh, my goodness, right away. We're going at it right away here. I heard Scott Holler say something about yapping at the dugout or something, so.
Let's get a close-up of this.
Oh, here we go. Oh, now they're. Okay, come on. This is the first game here now. These two got to play each other 2 more games still, and they still got to finish this one out.
I didn't root the baseball games last year.
This is interesting.
No,
I don't know what this is about.
I know our coach is kind of mad at him because he's the AD for Oak Creek, their baseball coach, and he kind of went right through to Nick and canceled our games without talking to him. And Nick was subbing all day on Tuesday, so Nick thought that he was cool with it. So he's been pissed at him all week. And our player, coach to coach. Yeah, our player who just hit that ball that tied the game, he knows a lot of guys on their team, and he's all mad that he was looking in their dugout.
So after all that delay, we'll send Minato up. We've had quite a few coaches delayed today already.
I was supposed to work a couple of the games, but they were canceled.
It's like some beef going on here, right?
It's like we got some early season beef here between Oak Creek and Indian Trail. Minato lines that one down. Line, fair ball in the left field. Probably couldn't see it on the camera, but that stayed fair. Obviously, the dugout's in our way. But Minato gets that one right past the third baseman, Mac Endres. And it's like Indian Trail starting to heat up.
Sam Kello.
I'm not shocked by it.
Obviously.
I mean, this is almost like a rivalry because these are projected to be the top 2 teams in the conference, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, there was some. I mean, we were told, we're not going to talk about an error, but there was some beef going on between these 2 coaches earlier in the week with certain things. So it's kind of what led to it. And that one's tried to bunt that time. On the second, the ball's dropped. So Indian Trail just doing everything here in the 3rd inning, just coming up.
How about it this inning?
Base hits. I mean, they're starting to look like Lane Oaks wants them to look like.
Get those first 2 innings out the way, kind of like like when you're getting the nerves out in a concert or something, kind of settling in, and now even their pitching as well after that first inning.
So Callow at the plate now, the pitcher 0 for 1 today. 2 down here, 1-0 on Callow. Buckta steps back. Here's the pitch. Callow lines that one foul all the way to the school bus, and missed the car out there. Man, this is the problem with baseball fields. You got a parking lot always near a baseball field.
We know it at Oak Creek too.
Yeah,
it's
Oak
like
Creek,
that.
Same thing. Franklin, there's a parking lot right behind the baseball field there too. It's almost every baseball field. Anyways, 1-1, Buckta sets. Takes outside.
Gonna go to third, yeah.
Minato steals third, and Callow now got a runner 90 feet away, but 2 outs, so you can't use a sac fly here. So you got to get the ball to the outfield if you want to take the lead here.
Callow's one of the good guys to do it too.
Yeah.
They give him the lead.
So Buckta in the stretch now. A runner on the third for Indian Trail here in the 3rd inning. 2 down, 2-1. And Callow on the ground. Is that going to stay fair? It will. Throwing to first. Not in time, and Indian Trail takes the lead here in the 3rd inning. Kind of a slow roller up the line for Callow, and Endres kind of thought it was going to go foul, but it stays in, and now Indian Trail 3 runs here in the 2nd. And the 3rd takes the lead.
A little bit of a big gamble that right there, right? You could have let it go and see if it would have went foul because that would have sent the runner back. But Indian Trail, how about that? The lead.
So now 3-2 lead for Indian Trail. That will send Brad Philippus up 0 for 1 now. And obviously this is an inning where there was obviously the coaches were getting face to face with that. Now here comes the manager again.
It's a pinch runner for the hitter.
Pinch runner.
For the pitcher for the
You never know today.
They could do that with the pitcher, right? Yeah. But all of a sudden, Ryan Buckta, the first 2 innings looked like he was dialed in, and he gives up 3 runs off of a couple of breaking balls that missed out of the zone that spiked the ground out of play. Kind of costed him a little bit.
We've seen like two or three coaching visits already to the umpire from both teams. So I'm thinking to myself, the way it's going so far today.
So
it's going to end in a fight. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's the first game of the year. Tensions are high. You've had a long off season. Obviously,
the pay-per-view. No, I'm just
a lot of postponements this week. You hadn't seen each other right away. Obviously, Indian Trail had that game postponed against West Tosha we were supposed to do last Tuesday. So Indian Trail, technically, if all the weather would have been fine, they would have had 4 games down their belt. Today would have been the 4th game. But instead, they're playing their first game today.
It's a big way to open up for both the top 2 powerhouses of the SEC conference.
I saw this, and I think Yeah, I was just saying, he looked like he balked.
Yeah.
Because he kind of like the way Buckta moved right there. I kind of said to myself, that had to have been a balk.
Yeah, but I think Buckta knew it too because he had that reaction right away. I think is that Scott Holler coming out now, maybe to give a pitching mound visit here.
He's either coming out to pitch mound visit or else he's going to question it. I think he's just going to talk to his team. So now that sends Calvo in scoring position. Indian Trail's been able to hit with RISP so far the last inning. So kind of a situation Oak Creek didn't want to do and flip us up there. One of the returners. So meanwhile, let's see if I can get you some other score updates. Let's see if we can go to Bradford High School now. It's 6-0 Kenosha Tremper over at Bradford High School. Tremper going for a sweep there. Tremper fell their first game to Badger, but ever since they're looking to sweep Bradford now. Ethan Bauerschmidt, the Penn State commit for Tremper, threw a no-hitter on Tuesday in the first game of this series. So you got one good pitcher in the conference that both teams, Indian Trail and Oak Creek, will have to see at some point this year.
I'm excited for the Tremper versus Indian Trail matchup too.
Yeah, we'll probably be at Tremper
really
or
big
here
matchup.
for that. Definitely told John Matera we're going to try to get him on as well this
Don't
year.
sleep on the Tremper Trojans either in the conference.
Yeah, they're always there. Kind of like Indian Trail. They're always there every year. Like they got a 500 record. They're never like a bad team. And it's kind of what you want. I mean, obviously, Tremper hasn't broken it to get to state. Indian Trail, this is the year they want to try to get to state. But Indian Trail, they got Tremper in the sectional. They got Union Grove in the sectional this year too, who's a really good baseball team. We'll try to see at some point too, and that one's outside. So it's 2-1 now on Philippus with 2 outs here. And now Indian Trail with 3 runs here in the 3rd inning to take the lead against Oak Creek. So now Buckta sets now. Here's the pitch. Philippus takes low. So 3 balls, 1 strike now. 2 down here in the 3rd inning. 25 of you watching. It's probably more than any game last year at this point. Yeah, baseball's always a slower season. We expected it. So
probably have a pretty big Eau Claire crowd tomorrow.
Buckta fires in there, strike 2. Couldn't tell at first, but I didn't see Philippus take off to first, so he just hit that outside corner. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. So Callow will be moving on this pitch. We'll see if whoever wins this battle, Buckta or Callow. I mean, Buckta or Philippus. Callow's on second. So Buckta 3-2, 2 outs here. And Philippus on the ground to second base. A slow roll of Ulazowski. Ulazowski fires to first in time. So 3 runs for Indian Trail this inning. They take the lead here in the 3rd inning. We'll head to the 4th. 3-2 Indian Trail lead.
The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
From humble beginnings in 1904, the Wheatrick family has grown Grassland Dairy Products into one of the largest processors of butter in the nation. Based in Greenwood, Wisconsin, the family and its hundreds of employees continue their pursuit of providing high-quality products that can proudly be served in restaurants and homes across America.
So it's tough on our field, and it's tough for us. It's tough for everybody. So it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. So our AD told our coach that, yeah, he got played.
Oh. Well, yeah, it sounds like quite a strange situation. I mean, there's so many cancellations. I know they moved that West Tosha game to... Oh, we're back. Okay. I'll talk about it later. Back here on Zaleski Sports, 3-2 game here in the 4th inning. Indian Trail in the lead here now after 3 runs came home in the bottom of the 3rd. So Indian Trail, after that slow start, was able to fire in some runs on some base hits. We had some fireworks between coaches in that inning, but, you know, we got 3 innings left. Actually, 4 actually. Well, 3.5 so far, but you never know what we'll see again. We got a long ways to go, and these two got to play each other again tomorrow. Doubleheader at Oak Creek.
This was the sectional final game last year.
Yeah. And Indian Trail had to survive a Cinderella story from South Milwaukee to get to the sectional final.
They took down Franklin last year.
Yeah.
At Franklin too, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was an upset there last year. But some teams, if you play well at the end of the year, that's the best time to play well at the end of the year. Any coach will agree with you that you can ride in the playoffs. I think Appleton East last year, they rode in the sectionals as a 12 seed, but they got to sectionals and all the way up in the Fox Valley. Yes, they lost their first sectional game by like 10 runs, but
for the night,
still got there.
baseman number 23, Mac Endres.
So Mac Endres will lead off your third baseman for the Knights. He brought in an RBI today, so 1 for 1 today. He also had that run score on
Ladies
the
and
air.
gentlemen, the concession stand is open here on the third base side, selling all sorts of food, snacks, and beverages.
So Endres steps in now, and he lines strike one. Right past him, Cal, that time.
We do have hot chocolate in the concession stand also if you are getting cold.
Well,
As the hot chocolate gets announced.
as the hot chocolate
You
gets
see some
announced,
fans.
anybody at home wants one, we'll deliver it. No, I'm kidding.
Good day for it here. I mean, it's 50 degrees, but it is pretty windy outside.
1 ball, 1 strike. We could be playing a lot colder. Case
Yeah.
and Franklin this week. I think they played on Tuesday or Wednesday when these guys got
Oh.
canceled, and it was pretty
No,
cold.
tomorrow for our morning game, I still might have to bring my coat.
Yeah, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Endres lines that one down the right field line, and it's foul.
Ooh. Like I said, Mac Endres has one of the most, probably their best power hitter this year for Oak Creek, honestly.
That one was lining for the lake. It looked like the wind for the lake was taking that one and putting it in foul. Good old Lake Michigan. We got a pretty good crowd here on a Friday evening here. Yeah, I'll tell you though, last week when I was at Muskego on a Saturday against Whitnall, there was nowhere to sit. Everybody was lined up down the line. It was Muskego has an opening day tradition, I think, over there. But Whitnall brought a lot of fans too, and they knew it was a big matchup. Meanwhile, that hits Endres on 2 strikes. So
He
that puts
got him in that
on now.
arm.
Now batting the shortstop, number 19, Ryan Simmons.
That one's going to sting for a bit, especially in the
this
cold.
weather. So now 3-2 game. Endres reaches on a hit by pitch, and I'll send up Braden Simmons. Brandon, sorry. I think I knew I had that wrong. I can just look on Game Changer. Brian. Oh, my goodness. I'm all over the place today. Brian Simmons. Endres takes his lead over there first. Good scoop that time by the catcher, Philippus.
Endres had a really big lead at first. Looked like for a second if that was going to get past, he was already halfway there.
Over, and who just gets back that time? Endres at first base.
Is that Peter Dooley at first base?
Yeah, Peter Dooley, the volleyball coach.
The boys volleyball?
We'll just call him the everything coach.
Yeah.
I swear he's in every sport somehow.
He's the coach Iron Man, right? Like what we say with Ben Vergis with every other sport.
Low in the dirt, ball 2 on Simmons. So Cal will start to get a little bit. You got to find the zone here a little bit.
What is Dooley? He's the head boys volleyball coach, and winter he's the lead assistant to Eric Howell in boys basketball, and now he's like one of the lead assistants here for baseball.
Here we go, 2-0. That one's on the ground. The third, no, gets through, back. Playing the shift that time, gets past 80, so now runner reaches. That's Simmons that time. So a hit by pitch and a base hit to left. Gets Oak Creek here with 2 runners on, no outs here in the 4th inning.
Now batting right
Oak
fielder,
Creek all of a sudden,
number
right after
9,
Indian
Jackson
Trail gets their
Grill.
bats woken up, they're trying to wake it up again, right?
Yeah.
With the bottom of the order starting to come through, middle, I should say.
James Visureal will come up now and mound visit now for Indian Trail. Probably going to talk about how to set this up. It kind of looked like Indian Trail was playing like a little bit of a shift on the left side because, obviously we're on an angle here, so we can't tell where that ball was hit. But Zeller was kind of a little bit more over the right side, so maybe in a situation like if he's playing a little bit more towards the third baseman, playing that certain shift, he could back him up and get that play. But if you think about it, by the time you backhand it, how fast the runner is, never know if you're going to get him. And sometimes you don't want to take that risk of throwing it because if you throw it, it gets out of bounds. Before you know, you got runs given up on any given way. But 3-2 now. Oak Creek looking to threaten here. First and second now on top of the 4th inning.
You don't want one of those base hits in the outfield to miss again for an error because that costed Indian Trail 2 runs last time for Oak Creek.
Well, it's interesting because they're in the same situation as they were then. Runners on first and second.
There was 1 out too, but even luckier for Oak Creek right now. They got no outs.
Vision Real 0 for 1. That one's a line up the middle. Base hit. They will send home Andres. Andres will score, and we are tied. And it's cut off at the mound. He's going to take third base. And throw over to third is not in time. No, it gets away. Wow. And Simmons will score, and it's 4-3 Knights. Just a handful of a play there. And just think about it. This was a single.
And that's kind of what's costing Indian Trail the game right now, like I said right before that at-bat.
Yeah, obviously the dugout's in our way, but, we got your play-by-play there. Maybe now on I'll stand up. Because I saw Scott Holler start waving his arms. I'm like, there's no way he waves his arm if the kid's got the ball.
I got that on camera.
Yeah. So that'll send up Carson Dockel now. 4-3 Knights lead here now. No outs here.
But that's
top of the fourth.
It's almost identical in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 runs again.
Callow delivers. He steps off now to look over Visual Real over there at second.
Defense in the outfield has to be just a little bit better, too.
Now steps back in here now, 4-3.
You're able to cut those 2 throws off. It still might be only 2 runs for Oak Creek.
Dockel up. Shows bunt. That's going to be popped up to the pitcher. The worst case scenario you could have asked for in a bunt. It's popping up right to Callow.
Sure, he wanted that grounder so he could get the Villarreal over to third, right?
We kind of talked about with the Brewers last year. I was watching the Brewers. They could not get a bunt down to save their life. Like, they always popped it up to the pitcher.
With Pat Murphy, I mean, it's not too much of an issue.
I love small ball as a broadcaster and as a person as somebody that likes to watch baseball. I love small ball because it shows that you're trying to get the runner home smaller. You're not trying to just hit that home run for 2 runs. Try to get that runner over, especially in a game like this where every run counts.
With that grazing?
Wow,
Oh, almost.
That was a heck of a pitch right there from Callow to start out. Anastas looked like he was going to hit him. He kind of backed out of the way and it stayed in there for a strike. Yeah, some of these pitchers these pitchers have in high school are just outstanding. But they've also been working for many, many years to get these pitches as best they could. Callow delivers and that one's fouled to the backside. So now 0-2 now on Anastas. Ulozelski up, and then we're back to the top of the order with Briesmeister after this. So now no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Here's the pitch high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. This is underrated. When we were picking games, this was underrated one. I said, Oak Creek made a state appearance a year ago at Indian Trail. High expectations.
Sectional runner-up.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? You never know. Scott Holler, to see if he's got some devil magic over there with new players.
I mean, I still think that Holler, they have a chance for state, though, looking at their section again this year.
Yeah.
But this is the team that I think they could see once again in that sectional final, but I think Indian Trail even better this year than they were last year.
And there's another team to watch in the sectional. Union Grove got added to the sectional this year. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a really good baseball team down there. They're playing West Tosha today. The 2 teams that will probably likely compete for the top spots in the Southern Lakes.
I do think when it's all said and done, these 2 teams and maybe even Tremper will be the top 3.
Yeah. So now here's the pitch, high. And Kettle just reached up to 52 now on the day. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out now. Oak Creek doing a good job trying to get his pitch count high. Scott Holler, from what I remember, he loves to get those pitch counts high.
It's like in Oak Creek's bullpen, there's a guy starting to do a little bit of stretching.
So now 3-2, 1 out here. And that pitches, and I never saw a foul ball call. So I guess it was fouled.
Magic.
I never saw the hands go up, so I thought maybe it was a swing and a miss, strike 3, but the catcher dropped it. That's what I thought it was. So, a foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. They'll remain that. 4-3 game. Oak Creek in the lead, gets the lead back this inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Callow goes with the heat that time. So 2 down now here, and that will send up Blake Ulozelski, the 9th hitter for the Oak Creek Knights.
The second baseman, number 21, Blake Ulozelski.
Other than a couple hits, Beth, Minato, and DeWilt haven't been that busy in the outfield. Blake Ulozelski takes it low, other than that first inning. And
that's why they're kind of catching off guard with some of those errors, huh?
Yeah. And obviously, Oak Creek's outfield starting to get a little more busier in the last inning with how Indian Trail's offense has come up big. Ulozelski steps in. Pitch is outside, ball 2. So 2-0, 2 outs here now. Visual on second for the Knights. Join us baseball tomorrow, Eau Claire Memorial Arrowhead at Wisconsin Brewing Company Park in Oconomowoc, 11 a.m. start. It'll be an Eau Claire broadcast for Zaleski Sports. So, that one's pitch high.
Bob Bradebush coming in at top? No, I'm just kidding.
So that's their normal play-by-play guy. So it'll be Elijah Vincelata and Matt Peck tomorrow. Elijah Vincelata on the call tomorrow. I'll be pressing the buttons what you're doing today tomorrow. And tomorrow we
can't wait to be at the spot we were for sectionals last year. Always welcome there.
Yep, and that one's in there.
Brian Geezy.
Yeah, he's a legend. And then Joe,
is that his first name, right?
Yeah. And then Joe Lebo at the Rock, always a legend for us. His son Kyle now playing baseball over at Iowa.
Still got a few sons, right?
Yeah,
Brody,
Brian, Braden, you name it. B. The only one with not a B was Kyle. And that one's on the ground a second. Shot out to first in time, and Indian Trail gives up two in that inning. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Oak Creek regains the lead 4-3.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
All right,
back here on Zaleski Sports, bottom of the fourth inning here, 4-3 lead for Oak Creek. It's been back and forth. Oak Creek with 2 in the first. Then Indian Trail comes up with 3 in the bottom of the third, and then Oak Creek strikes back 2 in the top of the fourth. So it's going to be interesting to see what Indian Trail comes back here within the bottom of the fourth. It's been a back and forth game. That's probably what you're going to see tomorrow between these two squads too.
Doubleheader in the OC.
So Ryan Buckta comes back out there for the Knights. Like Elijah mentioned last inning, he saw somebody stretching in the Knights bullpen. Obviously from here we're not going to be able to tell. Even without a jersey number, it'd be hard to tell. But they do on 2, so now we're set to start the bottom of the fourth.
Third baseman, number 25, Talon Aid.
Talon Aid will start the inning for Indian Trail. The third baseman. The bottom of the fourth, Buckta. So far, the stat line for him has been 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. So, and those 2 strikeouts, I think, came earlier on. And Aid takes strike 1. So Buckta obviously had a better start earlier, but Indian Trail's been able to catch up to him and kind of sit back on those first pitches and rip them, and that's kind of how they got their 3 runs last inning. So quickly 0-1. Buckta just missed outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. We talked about last year, Buckta is going to have to fill a big role this year. Peyton Gibbon, the player of the year last year in Division 1.
Player of the year in the state, too?
Yeah, graduated. So he has to fill a big role on the ace side of things. Peyton Gibbon also a really good hitter on that side, too, for the Knights.
Yeah, and a couple other guys, too, as well, that I would assume will take on that rotation. Mills, Jaden Pryor.
2 balls, 1 strike. And that one's ripped foul by Aid that time. Aid 1 for 1 today so far.
This is probably one of those years where Scott Holler, it's like, in a way, you don't want to say it like this, but almost rebuild. But, I mean, you never know what could happen with Oak Creek, though. I mean, they're always a sneaky team.
Buckta delivers, and inside, ball 3, nearly hit Aid that time.
And the command for Buckta starting to kind of go out of place here.
Yeah.
As Indian Trail starting to be a little bit more patient at the plate.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, a full count now, and Aid, the first batter here in the bottom of the fourth for Indian Trail. And on the ground to shortstop, Simmons. Fields it, throws to first in time. Jeske with the catch over there, 1 down here in the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting for the Hawks, the left fielder, number 3, Nick.
So 1 down now here in the bottom of the fourth. for Nick Beth, the left fielder. Beth had an error in the first inning, which eventually scored a second run. 0 for 1 today so far. One down here in the bottom of the fourth. And time is called by the umpire.
What a game for our opener so far, huh?
Yeah. Back and forth. We chose the right kind of game. Here's the first pitch. Shows bunt down the line. Buckta leaves the mound.
He's gonna get there.
Is he gonna get up? No. Oh. Wait a minute. That was kind of confusing because the umpire looked like he was going to show safe, and then he threw the out. So Beth tried to lay down a bunt. That was kind of confusing right there.
I didn't know what it was right there because he slowed down for a sec, so I put him on base.
No, well, he did. He motioned.
He kind of did like the.
Now batting right fielder Drake DeWilt.
Unless maybe a ball was. I don't know. And because he kind of looked like he was going to motion safe, and then he went out. So Drake DeWilt now will bat.
Interesting.
Yeah. So 0 for 1 now, Drake DeWilt today. 2 down now for Indian Trail here in the bottom of the fourth. Ball outside now. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 down here in the fourth. Buckta with 2 straight outs. Kind of like hit. All infield, the ground outs. That last one, that was a close play at first. Bang, bang. But the benefit went to the defense that time. Must have just got him. That pitch is in there, strike 1.
They're really making Buckta try to field those grounders, huh? Try to get his arm going even more.
Hey, at first it looked like he wasn't even going to throw it because he looked like he's going to be safe, and then he just gets it down there, and that one's up the middle.
Ooh.
Nice play over there at second base. On to first.
Good defense.
In time. Ulizelski that time slides to make the stop and gets it on to Jeske. And Oak Creek, 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the 5th. Oak Creek with the 4-3 lead.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Hey, Mike, I'm Sheila from Security, and I'm just like you. In fact, I'm from your neighborhood, and I've got a Medicare plan that treats you like you.
Did it just get better in here?
Back here on Zaleski Sports, top of the 5th inning between Oak Creek and Indian Trail. Oak Creek 4-3 lead the defending Southeast Conference champions here at Indian Trail this afternoon. Oak Creek on defense last inning with 3 up, 3 down. And they'll come back out here on offense, looking to extend their lead. Indian Trail, meanwhile, I wouldn't put them to sleep yet. I've seen some pretty good hitting out of them so far today too, especially the top of the order. They have some threats on that offense. So if it's only the 5th inning, Indian Trail right now would have 3 more chances to come up to plate.
Leading the inning off, Pearl Creek center fielder number 2, Brandon Burmeister.
Brandon Briesmeister will come up here to lead the inning off. The leadoff hitter for the Knights, it seems like 1-3-5. They've made it out in order. He's led off the 1st, 3rd, and 5th inning.
He almost had a heck of a play almost when that runner from 3rd in the was it 3rd inning when they scored.
So here's the pitch from Callow high. It's ball 1 to start out the 5th inning. Callow up to 59 pitches. Keep in mind the WIAA requirement is you cannot pitch more than 100.
What's he at?
59. 60 technically. And that one's ripped to second inning to get by. Base hit for Briesmeister to open up the inning here.
Top of the order for Oak Creek. This is where they want to keep doing more damage.
First baseman number 27, Camden.
We saw last inning, was it the first 2 runners reached 2 at-bats?
So 2 down. So down center, Cannon Jeske, the first baseman.
And this is like the heart of your order too, because you got Schaff coming up after and then Mac Endress.
So it's going to be interesting. I wonder if Scott Holler's going to steal Briesmeister here. We've seen some pretty good throws here from Flippus, and he's going to throw out the bunt signal, and that one's going to be bunted. We'll get the runner over to second. Callo's throw to first. Ooh, in time, but kind of didn't call out or in that time. Kind of threw it on the outside.
Good sacrifice to get arguably your best hitter, Nate Schaff, up.
Now batting left fielder, number 35, Nate Schaff.
So Nate Schaff will come up now here. 4-3 game, Oak Creek leading. 1 out here. He's Briesmeister on second after the sacrifice bunt. Nate Schaff 0 for 1 today with a walk. We'll see what he can do here. Callow sets here with 62 pitches. Looks back at second. Briesmeister takes his lead over there. Callow delivers, and that one's in the dirt. And thought about it, Briesmeister, that time, but quickly retreats back to second. A good block by that time by Philippus back there. That's one thing you got to notice here. A lot of these high school fields, they got further back backstops up. You don't catch that ball, you're just giving a runner an extra base every time. So it's important that you keep the ball in front of you, but by the time you get to the high school age, most of the time you can keep the ball more so in front of you. Briesmeister takes his lead over there at second. Schaff steps back in. And sinking pitch that time. Strike 1 on Schaff. Now he's got a good breaking ball.
I think, going back to those errors once again, right? They could have saved 2 runs in without those errors, but I think it's kind of like that first game jitters type vibe.
So Schaff steps back in the batter's box. 1-1 on Schaff. Schaff takes outside, ball 2. So 1 down for Schaff here. Has a chance. He can hit the gap. He's got a kind of playing off the line, which is smart as a right-handed hitter up at the plate. Out there is D. Wilt out there. Minato kind of playing center straight on. And Beth kind of more towards that left field line. He kind of shave it down the right field line if he could. He could possibly get himself a lot of bases. So Schaff takes that one a little bit high. 3 ball, 1 strike.
And still, you almost don't even want to put him on base 2 with Mac Endress, one of the best power hitters on this team.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to take a risk at, that's for sure. So 3 balls, 1 strike on Schaff. 1 down here in the 5th inning. Schaff takes ball 4. I mean, it was just off the plate. So now Oak Creek in business here. 2 guys on, 1 out here in the 5th. Lane Oaks kind of comes out of that dugout, even though most high school coaches stand outside the dugout, and I don't know if he's waiting. Give it another batter, I'd say, possibly. Not the poll, just had the meeting, maybe. Kind of looked over and looked at the situation.
Probably giving him a signal down here.
So keep in mind, Indian Trail can still turn a double play here and get out of the inning.
That would be huge.
So Callow sets now. It is Mac Endress at the plate, one of the Oak Creek power hitters. He swings that one in the dirt, 1 strike.
Want to go yard on that one, huh? That was a good breaking pitch, though, from Callow.
Endress steps back in now. 0-1, 1 out. 2 runners on. Briesmeister on second. Schaff on first. Schaff drew a walk. Briesmeister got on via base hit to the outfield, and Callow steps off. So Callow sets now. Here's the pitch, and that one's in the dirt low, and Philippus quickly comes up. Briesmeister kind of taking an aggressive lead over there, which is what you want to see as a coach. Just can't get too far off if you're Briesmeister. But 1 down here. Endres at the plate. Dangerous hitter. They're facing the cleanup hitter. So Callow sets now, looks back over at second. Throws back to second. Kind of does the whole turnaround. Endres steps back in now. 1-1. And I think that might have hit him. Yes, it did.
Yep.
So now the bases will be loaded for Oak Creek, and Lane Oaks quickly comes out. And he'll head to the mound. Or maybe head to the umpire. So he's going to talk to the umpire. So quickly retreat that. He's not heading to the mound. You just hear some boos from the parents down below and some words we're not going to repeat.
Maybe trying to ice Simmons a little bit here, huh?
Yeah. Maybe he's questioning the hit by pitch. Maybe he's trying to question that he leaned into it. Because I mean, he was standing a little bit on top of the plate, but, from here I'm on the angle, so I really can't give an opinion if he was, but he's just going out there to make sure, and he's kind of talking about it. Oh, we don't have the umpire's name, so we can't. No, now he's pointing back towards the dugout. There's a couple of times we've seen the coaches already out here today questioning things. Obviously, we had that little mix-up between Scott Holler and Lane Oaks a couple innings ago.
Both great teams trying to get a big first dub of the year. Nobody's backing down early on.
Yeah, so here we go.
It's like you got two guys now.
A while here now.
Two guys in the bullpen look like they're starting to get loose for Oak Creek. Maybe
and Lane Oaks trying to make his case.
Could be the end for Buckta for next inning.
Umpire's putting up his hand. Basically meaning probably stop or else you're going to be ejected. Looked like he was going that direction. Yeah, so it's been a crazy game so far. One down now. And Simmons will step in now. That's Brian Simmons. One down now here in the fifth. Wow. I don't think I messed up
the first 2 innings. I mean, we were going pretty fast. Now it's kind of slowed down a little bit.
So Callow stays out there 71 pitches. And that one's lined to the right side. Foul.
Right to the bus.
Oh, I thought it was going to hit the bus at first. That's Oak Creek's bus over there, too, obviously. They're only visiting team here. Oh, Indian Trail took a bus from the campus over here.
Right across the street.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a pretty big campus here at Indian Trail High School Academy. 2 balls, 1 strike.
These two schools, was it top 5 in enrollment in the state?
So, yeah, both got a lot of kids. You got over 2,000 kids in each school. Oak Creek might have surpassed Indian Trail in the last year or two from the latest WIAA numbers. That one's popped up. Not fair, so you can't call an infield fly rule. Oh, he dropped it.
Wow.
Luzzi drops it out of, and it's going to be an error.
He might have got that lost in the sun right there.
That's a big help for Oak Creek right there.
And you need that catch right there. That would have put 2 outs, and that would have held the runner at third. Everybody would have held.
Yeah. Because now you can still get a sac fly. Obviously, if he pops it up with 2 outs, the inning's over. So now Simmons has a chance at a sac fly, but Indian Trail can also turn one. The infield's in here with 2 down, and that one's outside.
Now, what do you go with here? If you're Callow, you kind of have to go in the zone. Otherwise, you're going to walk another run in.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 75 pitches for Callow. Simmons 1 for 2 today, so he could have a chance if he puts this in the gap to break it open. Here's the pitch, and fouled back. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know what he's going to go with here because 3-2 now, 1 out. Simmons steps back in. Callow sets. And ball 4. Walks in a run. And it's 5-3 now, Oak Creek with 1 down. RBI walk for Simmons. And time is called.
Probably trying to find his way out this jam now with the middle of the order coming up for Oak Creek.
Zeller came to the mound. He's out there with Philippus and Callow. Zeller came in from shortstop to talk with Callow. So now it's a 2-run game here in the 5th. 1 down. So bases remain loaded after the RBI walk, and that sends up James Vizuriel.
Now batting Jackson Vizuriel.
Jackson. Boy, I see the initial and I think, And that's blocked. Oh. Huge block by Philippus that time to save a run. That one's in the dirt, 1-0.
All of a sudden, Callow's starting to lose his command a little bit now.
I mean, I'd give him one more batter. If there's another walk, I think we would probably have to look at a pitching change if you're Indian Trail. So 1 out now. That one's blocked in the dirt, 2-0. And
back-to-back pitches where they saved runs, huh?
Callow goes down low twice now, and here comes Lane Oaks. So he'll just talk. It looks like he's just going to do a discussion with them and just plan things out. Obviously, a lot to plan out with bases loaded. Where to go with the ball, where you got to line up possibly. where the ball could come possibly to turn a double play, because Indian Trail's in that situation. They give up a big base hit here. It's 7-3. So for their sake, with 3 more chances to bat right now, being down, you got to figure out a way to keep this at 6 at the worst, I think. So 5-3. It's just 2 balls, no strikes on Villarreal. And that one's lined to first base. Oh, and it gets by! Out to the outfield, and that's going to score 2 runs. And they're going to hold Simmons at third, but 7-3 game now. Andres and Schaff come home.
Oak Creek breaking the game open now.
Yeah, I mean, that was not the way I expected them to do it.
Now batting the DH number 5, Carson Daschel.
And it's just those.
The first base corner has just been
those
struggle this inning.
Mistakes again, right? You go back to a couple of those errors back in those early innings for Indian Trail.
The one that we talked about highlighted was the drop foul ball.
Yeah, that's going to come back to bite them now.
Because they had 2 outs. They had 2 outs. Now
and a base hit essentially can make it 9-3.
Yeah. And ball misses inside 1-0 on Dockel. Carson Dockel up to the plate now. 1 down. And umpire calls time. Oh, and Lane Oaks, I just heard him with the comment figuring out where the zone is. So it's been one of those games so far. First game of the season, these 2 teams obviously know they're going to be in the top of the conference. Both are trying really hard to get both these games, but obviously you got 2 more chances tomorrow.
Callow's pitch count's got to be getting up there now even more, right?
Let's see, there's 2 balls. Yeah, 2 balls on here, so he's at 82 now, Callow. The starting pitcher made it through 5 so far.
Just starting to get someone stretching and throwing now.
Fouled back to the screen. So 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. So 2-1, 1 out. Villarreal and Simmons on second and third. And that one's fouled to the right side. I don't think he wanted to hit that one, but he did. 1 down here. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Been a long inning for Callow so far.
Yeah, I don't think we have a feature on here to see how many pitches he's thrown this inning, but well, technically, this is batter's face. He's faced 24 batters today. That one swings and a miss. Strike 3. Callow gets the strikeout that time. Out. And that's his 4th strikeout of the day. But here's a stat if you're Indian Trail you want to look at. Looks like Callow's going to get pulled here. Callow gives up 7 runs, but only 3 of them were earned. And that's just one of those things.
Goes back to that defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things where, as a pitcher, you just say to yourself, man, that was a killer, because three of the runs Oak Creek actually earned, 7 of them they actually scored. I mean, they scored 7, but 3 of them they earned. So they'll make a pitching change here now. Looks like they will set out. We'll figure out after the break. Number 2, Connor Shada will come into pitch now for Indian Trail. He'll come in for relief here in the 5th inning. Oh. Okay.
And then the pitcher's going to first.
Okay, the pitcher's going to first.
Now pitching for the Hawks. The second
Callow's going to go to first.
Connor Shada. Callow.
Nathan Gary will enter the game for Sam Aluzzi. Gary will play second, and the pitcher Callow moves to first.
Callow will play first. Gary will enter the game. He'll play second, entering for Aluzzi. So Lane Oaks kind of going to that change where they've struggled all the inning. They had a couple errors down that first base line, and so we'll have 2 down now once we come back here with Shada. So it's still 7-3 here, 5th inning. Still plenty of time. Indian Trail, I've seen some good things out of them on offense today. They can put a rally together. You never know. They can get themselves right back in this game. As you know, Brian Buckta's pitch count is probably getting up there as well, too.
He's going to have a lot of insurance runs in, though.
Yeah. He's
4 at least right now.
Yeah, so Ryan Buckta definitely got the run support that he wanted. I couldn't think of the word.
Catcher number 6.
There's 2 guys in that bullpen getting loose, though, I would assume. I mean,
2 outs now. So runners on second and third, and pitch ball 1 low for Shada. So Shada comes in with a ball to start off. Here's a pitch low again, 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. So Indian Trail, 14th ranked in the PBR rankings to start the season. I think in my division, the Division 1 poll that they put out 5 technically in the Wisconsin Baseball Coaches Association, Oak Creek was ranked like 23rd in that, but PBR Oak Creek was not ranked at all. So right now, Oak Creek kind of playing.
They do their rankings every week.
Yeah.
So maybe big wins here could put them back.
Yeah, so strike 1 now, 3-1 on Anastas. We're getting better. 3-1, 2 outs here now. Pitch from Shada on the ground, foul to the left side. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Indian Trail like to get this inning with Shada here. 2 runners on for Oak Creek, second and third, Simmons and Villarreal. And that pitch is low, ball 4. So 2 outs, and Oak Creek loads the bases yet again. And that'll bring up the top. Nope, Ulazowski comes up then the top of the order.
The second baseman, number 21, Blake Ulazowski.
So bases loaded now for Blake Ulazowski. 7-3 game. Indian Trail, the costly things, the 3 errors on defense today. And those have all allowed 2 runs. So 1-0. There was 2 errors this inning in particular. There was a drop foul ball on the first base side, and there was a base hit that got past the first baseman. That hit his glove. So 7-3. That's what caused a 7-3 game here. So 1-1 on Ulazowski. He's 0 for 2 today. 2 outs here in the 5th. And that one's ripped to center field. Up in the air, and it's caught for the final out. Minato makes the catch. 3 runs for the Knights here in the 5th inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Oak Creek 7-3.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
Well, I mean, if Buckta goes a complete game. Back here on Zaleski Sports. Bottom of the 5th here at Indian Trail High School. 7-3 Oak Creek. They score 3 in the top half of the inning. 2 errors for Indian Trail on defense. Kind of led to those runs. But Ryan Buckta, the ace for Oak Creek, back out there for the 5th inning. And we got him at 51 pitches, so we could see him a while unless Indian Trail starts to spark a rally here. So Oak Creek will do the on-2 down to second base, and we're set to begin the bottom of the 5th here. Brian Buckta back out there for the Knights.
Now batting the second baseman, number 11, Nate Erdy.
Nate Erdy will come up, the second baseman. I think first at bat today because he just came to the game during the pitching change last inning. Ernie in the game for Indian Trail, and that pitch is low from Buckta, ball 1 to start the inning. Yeah, we were right. Buckta only at 52 pitches here in the 5th, so he can keep settling. He's got it. They can't pull him until he gets. I mean, they don't have to pull him until he gets to 100 unless things get shaky. So 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike for Buckta. And he lines that one foul, Garrity, that time. So 1-2 quickly. One ball, 2 strikes here for Buckta. Buckta, called strike 3 to Garrity that time, and 1 down. Buckta just fires that one in there.
Now batting the pitcher,
down.
number 2, Connor Shada.
So Connor Shea will come up now. 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Kind of get back to the top of the order now for Indian Trail. Could use some production. And that one's fouled to the right side. Carter Shada, 1 for 2 today.
And Buckta's got a really relatively low pitch count here in the 5th inning, only 55 pitches. I think if all goes well this inning, maybe Holler will send him out for the 6th.
You know, Holler's got him where he wants to. And obviously he's not going to pitch at all tomorrow, being a doubleheader and playing tonight. So this is where you got Buckta versus Indian Trail this year. And that one's on the ground. Through, base hit. Shada on. 2 for 3 today. And they'll send up Jack Zeller, the shortstop.
Shortstop number 9, Jack Zeller.
And like I talked about the last couple times he's come up to bat, he's the one we want to watch. Zeller 0 for 1 today, but drew a walk earlier. So he hasn't gotten that hit yet, but you never know with him. He's one of those players that you got to play well in the field because he can get a hold of one, get a gap, and before you know it, we got Indian Trail in business. So Shada will take the lead over there at first. Zeller up to bat, steps in the box. Buckta sets. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Elijah was telling me that Scott Holler, the head coach of the Oak Creek Knights, is involved in a play going on at the school right now. He's also the school's athletic director that you heard about, right? He's involved in a play?
Yeah, musical.
Oh, nice.
I think it is.
So 2-0 now. Well, if Oak Creek hangs on.
You know, because my brother is in it.
If Oak Creek hangs on, we'll have to talk about it at the game. How'd you know? 2-0, 1 down here now in the bottom of the 5th.
Hope my brother isn't lying.
That one's fouled to the left side. Yeah, could you imagine?
So just in case, I wouldn't have been.
I'm not gonna break it. We're gonna whichever coach wins this game, we're gonna talk only baseball.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about the game today too, and maybe what they got coming up tomorrow.
Because you never know. There's so many people. That look similar too. But I think that is likely him.
Yeah. Well, he works at the school.
A lot of big special guesses in that as well.
2-1, 1 out. Zeller takes strike 2.
You know what I heard from him?
Just hit the corner, it looked like. If it did, it was close. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Zeller. 1 down here. Shada gets his lead over there at first. Buckta delivers on the ground to second. He's just gonna go right to first that time was Ulizelski, and Zeller moves Shada up to second. With 2 down now here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting the center fielder, number 6, Cade Manato.
Cade Manato comes up now. Yeah, we just brought up good examples earlier. Like I talked about Muskego last week. A lot of times early in the year, it's a good time for a lot of these younger, unranked teams to come away with wins.
If this is a dropped game for Indian Trail, they're going to bring it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Try to bring that energy.
They're coming to Oak Creek's house tomorrow. Oak Creek doesn't, for those of you that obviously were mainly central-based up north network, Oak Creek does not play at the high school. They play at a middle school offshore about half a mile away to the east. That's actually Oak Creek East Middle School. They just built a brand new baseball field there a couple of years ago. And Manato swings strike 1 here.
My rival.
So 63 pitches for Buckta here, so he's in a good position.
I'm a Westie.
Yeah, so it depends where Buckta wants to, or Scott Holler, how he wants to do this. Does he want to take him all the way to the end or save pitch count? His first game I wouldn't be surprised.
Save energy for next week as well, maybe. Yeah. I mean, he'll get the day off tomorrow for sure.
Scott Holler told me they got Horlick next week and Sussex-Hamilton over the weekend, a doubleheader. Sussex-Hamilton, a 5-0 start in the season.
Yeah, you'll definitely want him for Sussex-Hamilton.
Yeah, they're an up-and-coming team over there. Even last year they showed some strides. 2 years ago, I think they were below 500, but now they're up to 5-0 starting a tough Greater Metro Conference. I mean, you got Menominee Falls over there. They swept this year. You got Brookfield Central over there, Brookfield East. A lot of good teams. Germantown, who's looking impressive too this year so far. So Greater Metro, always a tough conference over there. Southern Lakes to our west, southwest. You got West Tosha and Union Grove. Meanwhile, if somebody's keeping track of that, I want to get a score of that game. This is Union Grove's last year team. I clicked on the wrong game changer here. All right. I hope they got it. Yep. So Union Grove down 2-0 to West Tosha right now. So West Tosha going for the sweep over there and called strike 3 that time. Meanwhile, by Buckta. Buckta gets out of it. No run. 7-3. We'll head to the 6th. Oak Creek in the lead.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fear, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflateri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
All right, back.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, top of the 6th inning here. Oak Creek with a 7-3 lead here against Kenosha Indian Trail. Ayers had bought Indian Trail today, like we talked about. The last pitcher, Sam Callow, he only had, go back to his stats here, he only had 3 earned runs, but he gave up 7 runs. So there were some errors there in that last inning that haunted Indian Trail. Had the errors not happened, we could still be sitting in a 4-3 game.
Leading the inning off for the night, center fielder number 2, Brandon Burmeister.
Brandon Burmeister comes up to lead off the inning, 6th inning. And he led off last inning, so Oak Creek batted a lot last inning. So top of the 6th here, we'll start from Indian Trail. And that pitch is just missed outside, ball 1. A lot of them look close for Indian Trail. Obviously, we're off to the side, so I can't tell where it misses or how it missed. Pitch is in there, strike 1. So 1-1 on Burmeister. Shada stays in there. He's got 11 pitches. He's pitched 1 1/3, so he's pitched a third of an inning so far. Here's the pitch in the air, left field. Beth underneath it. He'll make the catch, 1 down here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting for Oak Creek, the first baseman, number 27, Camden Jeske.
Camden Jeske will come up now, the first baseman for Oak Creek, 1 down here in the 6th. Pitch just misses, ball 1. 1 out. Ball 2 in the dirt, 2-0 now. Shot out with 2 straight balls here on Jeske. Schaff and Andres do up the top hitters in the Oak Creek lineup after this. So I'm sure Shaw's going to try to get 2 outs here with those 2 guys up. So now quickly 3-0. So 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out here. And that's ball 4. So 4 straight pitches. Jeske walks, and that will send up Nate Schaff here.
Now batting the left fielder, number 35, Nate Schaff.
So Schaaf steps in here now, 1 down. Jeske takes his lead over there at first. Here's the pitch, ball high, 1-0 from Shada.
We're going to be all over this place tonight and tomorrow, huh? All the way from Kenosha to Conomowoc tomorrow.
You're right. I mean, yeah, we're all over the place. At least we get to go home tonight, though. Now, if we were doing back-to-back, it'd be tough.
Going to be early morning tomorrow.
Well, we've had earlier.
Yep.
Last year when we did PBR, our game started at 9 a.m. in Franklin. We had to be there by 8, and we had a game that went to 11:30 the night before.
We just stayed at Franklin Field overnight, right? And just pulled an all-nighter.
I think Steve Maves thought we did from the comments. He goes, they must have stayed at the field all night. No, we didn't. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We almost got trapped there that one night, right? Or was it that night before?
Yeah, because they locked the gates, and we had to roll underneath the gate. We would have had to stay out there all night. And that one's in the dirt, ball 2, and they're just going to let him steal. So Jeske takes second base, and Oak Creek's got a base runner in scoring position here with 1 out. So 3 balls, 1 strike now, 1 out here on Schaaf.
At this point in the game, Oak Creek probably just trying to stay disciplined, huh? Just try to get any great pitch to hit they're going to get, but they're going to lay off of those low pitches.
So 3 balls, 1 strike. Now hitters count, 1 out on Schaaf, and he takes ball 4 in the dirt. So Shada issues his second straight walk here in the 6th inning. So I'll send up Mac Endres now.
Now batting the third baseman, number 23, Mac Endres.
So meeting on the mound for Indian Trail, Endres will come up the cleanup hitter for Oak Creek. So Endres steps out, looks at the sign now, 1 down. Runners Schaaf on first, Jeske on second here. Top of the 6th. Ball's low in the dirt, 1-0. And Shada just struggling with that command here. The last few batters.
Been a long last 2 innings for their pitching staff.
Yeah, because they looked pretty good the innings before that, but they just had struggled these last 2 innings. And that one in there for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Pitch. That just missed. From here it looked like it was close. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Must have just missed the corner. So 2-1, 1 out now. Here's the pitch. And that one's on the ground to short, to third. They'll go take the easy play at first in time. That's 80 to Callow at first. 2 down now here. Oak Creek moves runners up 90 feet. Endres grounds out that time. And
now batting the shortstop, number 19, Brian Simmons.
So Brian Simmons will come up the shortstop. Simmons today, 1 hit, 1 RBI. And he scored a run and he's walked once. So he's 1 for 1. So if he could get these 2 runners home here, that'd make a 9-3 game, potentially a base hit in the outfield, depending on where it's hit. And so now 1-0. Pitch, low in the dirt, 2-0. Outside. So now 2 down for Indian Trail on defense. Brian Simmons steps back in, 2-0. Here's the pitch, and that one's ripped to left field. And that one will be caught. What a catch out there by Minato. Able to cover some ground and end the inning. It looked like it was going to go a gapper, But Oak Creek comes up scoreless in this top head. We head to the bottom of 6, 7-3 still the score here.
The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
As we've lost him. As long as none of us are cussing.
I might have said it a little bit under my breath there, but hopefully nobody heard that. That's fine, though.
Oh, really?
Buckta. Oh, they must have pitched Gibbon earlier in the day then against Tremper. Yep.
Well, you got to go your best pitcher in the first game.
Yep.
Back here at Indian Trail High School, 7-3 lead for the Knights here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Indian Trail they want to get a rally going, or have to do it probably starting now. Wouldn't rule them out for the team that they brought back this year, but it's going to take a little bit. And Buckta still in there, the starting pitcher for the Knights, coming out for the 6th inning here.
Got to give credit where it's due for Oak Creek, though, so far.
Yeah.
Other than those couple hits, Buckta's been nails. Pretty good start for the ace and looking to possibly go through 6 here.
Now batting the first baseman, number 10, Sam Callow.
So Sam Callow, who pitched earlier in the day, is the first baseman. Now he comes up first for Indian Trail. Ryan Buckta still the pitcher for the Knights.
What's his pitch count at now?
Once the first pitch comes, I'll be able to tell us the inning starts. So Sam Callow steps in here on the bottom of the 6th. Here's the first pitcher, and Buckta hits the outside corner, strike 1.
Photos for today's game will be available on Gina Feeney Photography very soon.
1 for 2, Callow is today. Ryan Buckta at 66 pitches. So he's on track. He can, unless he has a long inning the next 2 innings, and that's quickly strike 2 now.
If it becomes a save situation, I'd try to put somebody else in.
Yeah.
Maybe to finish it off, a fresh arm.
Or see how he starts the inning, and if he gets in any trouble, quickly go to your closer. But Indian Trail's got to get to at least one more run to be a save situation. So 0-2 now on Callow, and he strikes out swinging. Buckta another strikeout.
Now batting the catcher, number 8, Brad Flippis.
So that's 5 strikeouts on the day for Buckta. He's got 3 earned runs and 6 hits given up. He's pitched so far through 5 1/3. So now Brad Flippis will come up. (1-0) now on Flippis to start out. Here's the pitch from Buckta. He just misses outside. 2-0 now. 1 down for the Knights in the field. Flippis so far 0 for 2 today. Buckta delivers here with 2 balls, no strikes, and that one's popped up in the air. Coming in fast. It looks like it could stay in. And it's dropped at first base by Jeske. I couldn't tell if they actually hit his glove or he just overran it. But it would have been a huge out for Oak Creek to be able to retire Flippis, but they'll carry on with 2 balls, 1 strike now. So Flippis steps back in here now. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And that one's ripped to center field. Going back on it, and it's going to be caught. Oh, no, dropped. It just came right off the glove, and that's going to be an error on Briesmeister. Kind of went too soon that time for me. Kind of hit off the end of the glove.
Third baseman number 25, Talon Aid.
I kind of just played the early assume reaction. Costed me. So now it'll be 1 down now for Aid at the plate now. Talon Aid now comes up. He is 1 for 2 today. Philippus reaches on an air drop fly ball by the center fielder. And Philippus will take off. Throw down to second is going to be not in time. Couldn't catch it on the bounce. And Philippus steals second. Simmons couldn't quite come up with the bounce that time. Not a bad throw from Anastas. Kind of got it there on the first or second bounce. So now Indian Trail, the runner in scoring position. They do score here. It would be a save situation next inning, assuming Oak Creek doesn't score.
And got an arm warming up now again.
And pitch is high. 2-0 now. So Talon Aid, 1 for 2 like I mentioned before. He's quickly up 2-0 now. Philippus steals second. He's at second now. Buckta delivers and punches one in there, strike 1. 2-1, 1 out.
You know what, in that 7th inning, we could even test out our microphone again.
Yeah.
Haven't had that running in a while.
And that one's on the ground to second. Ulizelski picks it up, throws it to first in time. And Jeske will run the runner back to third, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting, left fielder number 3, Nick Bad.
So Nick Beth will come up here now with Philippus on third base. Beth 0 for 2 today. Steps in a lefty now. Buckta sets Buckta up to 76 pitches. It'll be interesting to see what they'll do for the 7th. And does not hit the outside corner. It's quickly 1-0. So 1-0, runner on third. Quickly high, 2-0 now. Yeah, as you notice, that as we get more and more to the evening, the temperatures start getting lowered. So 2-0, 2 outs. 7-3 game. Philippus takes his lead at third. Ball's low, 3-0. Beth in there up 3-0 now. 2 down. If he can reach, he'd have runners on the corners. And that pitch is taken high, ball 4. So we'll have runners on the corners now, 2 outs.
You make the change now, or?
He's walking. I don't know if he wants. Yep, he's calling time. I don't know if he's going to make the change, though, for sure. He might just be going out there to have a chat. We'll be able to tell pretty quick.
Just needs one more out.
Yeah, so 2 down.
You can just unplug me now. That's fine.
That's fine.
No, I know. Go ahead.
There we go. You don't want to talk no more?
Yeah, we can put the...
Oh, we don't need to do that because they're going to talk for like 10 minutes after the game, too. I can just keep you on mute if you want.
If it's super static,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to hear you, though. I can hear you just fine. All right. So...
It'll be a pinch hitter for the Hawks, number 88, Babe Belichick.
So Babe Belichick comes up, the pinch hitter for the Hawks. They will pinch hit him in a big spot here in the 6th inning. So Beth takes his lead over there at first, Philippus at third. Belichick steps in here. Here's the pitch from Buckta. He throws in there, strike 1. Yeah, Pelishek now. 0-1, 2 outs. Runners on the corners for Indian Trail here now. 7-3 game here in the 6th. Pelishek takes the sinking strike 2. So no balls, 2 strikes on Pelishek. Ryan Buckta up to 82 pitches now here in the 6th inning. Be interesting to see if he can get out of it here, what Oak Creek does in the 7th. Time called. So 0-2 on Pelishek now. Bucked us in the stretch. Beth and Flippus take their leads, and runners move, and that one's popped up on the first base line, foul. We'll go out of play, actually into the bullpen. The bullpen, whoever's warming up for Oak Creek just caught that ball. So it should be 3 outs. I'm kidding. Yeah, baseball hasn't gotten that crazy yet. Yeah. So 0-2 still on Pelishek. 2 outs here. Runners on the corners remain for Oak Creek. Buckta sets and delivers. Ball taken outside, 1-2. Buckta at 83. 1-2, 2 outs. 6th inning. Here's the pitch. Line to second, and nice play over there at second. Throws on to first in time. Ulazowski with the dive and able to come up with the throw to first base and saves a run for Indian Trail. 7-3, we'll head to the 7th inning. Oak Creek still in the lead.
At Ridgetop, we are your trusted, local, affordable exterior renovations expert. Isn't that right, Bo?
Exactly, especially when we are working on someone's biggest investment.
Can you give us an example, Bo?
Well, there was this house. We replaced the roofing, siding, and windows. Then, they left a 5-star review.
One of our thousands of 5-star reviews?
Exactly.
For your free, no obligation estimate, call us today or go to ridgetopexteriors.com.
At Fleet Farm, we're all about your everyday, but not just any old day. Here, every day's opening day. Every day's a school day. Every day's a monster day. And every day is too short. Whatever makes your day, Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, 7th inning here. 7-3 lead for the Oak Creek Knights here. Our final time to bat here against Indian Trail. Oak Creek, a state appearance a year ago. Looking to notch their first win against a very much improved Indian Trail team who's ranked 14 in PBR. Like I mentioned many times in this broadcast, first game of the season is your best chance or early on to get a really good team on the ropes. But these two remember, they play 2 games tomorrow, so tomorrow we could see totally 2 different stories. But this game ain't over yet either, though, so I think we got a new pitcher. No. Carter Shotto will stay the pitcher for Indian Trail.
Lead the inning off for Oak Creek, right fielder number 20, Jackson Villarreal.
Jackson Villarreal will lead off the inning for Oak Creek. And pitches low in the dirt, ball 1 from Shotto. Ball is in the dirt, low, 2-0 now. So 2-0, no outs here in the 7th. Villarreal's driven in the most runs. It said, according to Game Changer, he has 3 RBIs today so far for Oak Creek. So 2-1 now. And that one's popped up. Right field. Actually, second base, and nearly comes down with that catch. So 1 down now here in the 7th.
Now batting the DH number 5, Carson Dashel.
So Koenig will pinch hit for the Knights. Here's the pitch. Low inside for ball 1. Next pitch is in there, strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. And fires that one in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes now, 1 out. So Koenig down 1-2 here, 1 out. And that one's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. So 2-2, 1 out here in the 7th. No base runners for Oak Creek. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 down now here in the 7th. And that will send up.
Catcher, number 6, Nate Anastas.
So Nate Anastas up at the plate now. 2 down here in the 7th. Here's the pitch low in the dirt, ball 1. And that one's ripped to right center. And that one is going to fall in the gap. Gets by the right fielder. And trying to get the throw in. And kind of had a hard time picking up that ball at the time. And now Nate Anastas with the double here with 2 outs here. So Blake Yulzeski comes up. He made that awesome diving grounder stop last inning to end the inning, saving an Indian Trail run at second base. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So 0-1 on Yulzeski. And that one's popped up foul out of play. So quickly 0-2. Yulzeski has a runner in scoring position at second base. So, and that is Hoagland. Hoagland is pitch running now. Yulzeski 0 for 3 today. 2 outs now. Quickly 0-2 on him though. And that one's foul once again to the parking lot. A lot of insurance payments might be making after this game.
Not worried about that at Dock House.
Yeah. I think one kid last year hit one out. But you know how hard it is to hit one because you got all those stands. It's pretty far, but you know, you got some of these high school kids that can launch them. So 0-2, 2 outs now on Yulzelski. And that pitch is low in the dirt, ball 1. Good stop back there. So 1-2, 2 outs now on Yulzelski. Here's the pitch, and that one's on the ground to short. Zeller on to first, and cannot be picked. And it gets away, and it's 8-3 Knights now. It's going to go probably as Indian Trail's 4th error now on the day. So the center fielder back to the top of the order for the Knights. Braden Burmeister will come up now. Believe it or not, that passed throw still keeps Yulzelski at first. But it puts Indian Trail in a deeper hole than they have been. Yeah, we'll see what Scott Holler decides to do here in the bottom of 7th. Is it keep Buckta in or is it go to the bullpen? I bet it depends on how. Maybe they'll bring him back in, see how he starts, and then if there's a base runner, just yank him right away just to be safe. Yeah. Or else they might not want to use the closer just in case they have to use him tomorrow, because I expect tomorrow they have some close games because Indian Trail is going to really want a game tomorrow. And that one's ripped in the air to center field, tracking deep. And that will be caught out there. And that's the end of the inning. At the end of the half inning, we will head to the bottom of 7th. Last chance for the Indian Trail Hawks. They trail 8-3 here, heading to the bottom of 7th.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fear, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflateri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Back here on Zaleski Sports, Matt Peck, Elijah Vincelata here. 8-3 game here. Oak Creek in the lead here. The defending Southeast Conference champions leading over Indian Trail here. We head to the bottom of the 7th. And Nate Ernie will lead off for the Hawks. But Ryan Buckta, 6 complete innings. He's back out there to try to finish this game. He's at 85 pitches, so he has 15 pitches to work with for the Knights. Until he'd have to be pulled. So he's either got to finish it before that or pull him. So Buckta steps in, and that first one's fouled away. Another insurance call? Yeah. Where's Gruber when you need him? So 0-1 now. That one's on the ground. I think it hit the batter. Yep, foul ball. So quickly 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes here, and pitch is high, 1-2 now. Here's the pitch from Buckta now, and just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So it'll be interesting to see what Ryan Buckta, it's one that I'm waiting for to see if can he finish it, or will we have to get somebody else? And called strike 3 for Ryan Buckta. Kind of threw a curveball in there.
I think if he completes the game, you gotta.
Yeah, we'll put him in the house if he completes the game. Connor Shade will come in now. 1 down here for Indian Trail here in the bottom of 7th. First pitch in there for strike 1. Next pitch is a little bit high, so 1 ball, 1 strike. So what are we at with Buckta's pitch count? 91. So he's at 91 here with 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And swing and a miss, strike 2. So Jack Zeller will be due up next for Indian Trail. And outside ball 2. Yeah, we're going to. If Oak Creek hangs on, I always have to say that, just in case. So I'm not the announcer, Jinx, but Ryan Buckta will probably be our highlight house player of the game. Meanwhile, swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. And he's at 93, I believe, so he'll have 7 pitches to work. Well, he's got it. He can finish the batter, so. So he'll. So the only way Ryan Buckta really cannot finish it at this point is if Jack Zeller either takes a long at bat and gets on base, or that's probably the main way. Jack Zeller would have to have a long at bat and get on base. So Zeller comes up now, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch is in there for a strike, so Oak Creek 2 strikes away here from winning game 1 of this series. They'll play 2 tomorrow at Oak Creek East Middle School, 1 at 11 a.m. and the 1 right after, the other one. 3-game series has happened in the Southeast Conference. Meanwhile, ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. No. Post-game interview won't come right away as the teams meet with the coaching staff, so give it a couple minutes. Yeah. Pitch is just missed outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch is in there, strike 2. So he's at 99 now with 2 outs. But like I said, he can finish the batter. So if he gets to 100 here and Zeller reaches, then they have to pull him. So we'll see what happens here. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now, 2 outs for Oak Creek. 99 for Buckta and the pitch count. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 3. Yeah, so he's at 100 pitches now. So either Zeller walks, they got a new pitcher coming in. Zeller strikes out, he gets the complete game. So a lot on stake here on this final pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 7th. And did he go? And they say he went. And Ryan Buckta, with 101 pitches, gets the complete game here in game 1. 8-3 in 7 innings today. Oak Creek wins 8-3 over Indian Trail here in the game opener. Number 14 ranked Indian Trail. Nasonville Dairy post-game show coming up after this.
First pitch will be at 4:30. Once again, thank you to everybody who came out tonight's matchup.
Test.
All right.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. Nasonville Dairy actually goes back to 1885. We are the oldest plant in Wood County. When our father brought us here in the early 1960s, we ran 7,500 pounds of milk a day. We now run 1.8 million pounds of milk a day. We buy dairy milk from 200 dairy farmers here in central Wisconsin, produce it, and ship it all over the world. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fear, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. This has allowed us to go to a lot of different countries. Our furthest accounts are now in China, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We do ship to Mexico, as well as a number of other places throughout the world. This is what we call Cheese Making 101. We tried to walk you through the cheese plant today, and we're in hopes that you see our people, what they're doing, and the amount of work that goes into producing the products that we hope you enjoy. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fear, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Here, you stand next to him. All right, back here on Zaleski Sports here with the victorious Oak Creek Knights, head coach Scott Heller and Mr. Complete Game Ryan Buckta. Just tell me about how you guys got it done tonight. I mean, obviously Coach Heller was talking about how young of a team you are today. You weren't sure what you were going to expect, but you had to be pretty happy with the results so far today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, super young team. Bats, and I want to give a huge shout out to Blake Ulieski at second base. He saved me from probably 3 more runs scoring. We're all really young. People doubt us all year, and that's what we're going to do all year.
Yeah, we talked about you guys don't schedule cupcakes. We talked about that pregame. You guys got Indian Trail 2 more times tomorrow. And you got Hamilton next week. I know you got Horlick next week, but you got some big games coming up. Just tell me about how you guys are going to stick together and stay together as a young team.
Yeah, we're just going to have to stay focused and practice. He prepares us very well for the games and stuff like that. And we just got to come out here, play, keep working.
All right, so you stay here because I got to get you in the house after, but I'll just ask Coach for a question real quick. Just tell me about how you don't schedule cupcakes, because you told me that before the game. You said no matter how young the team is, I schedule hard teams. Like you said, you got Kimberly coming up 2 weeks from tonight, so you got a lot of good teams coming up. And you got, obviously Franklin, always tough. Indian Trail, you got them again tomorrow, so just tell me about how you're going to do it.
I mean, we just, we know there's been a lot of talk about all the seniors that we lost, and I think what's lost in that conversation is how hard the younger guys have worked too. You know, Brian Simmons and Blake Ulaszewski and Jackson Villarreal, and you just go around the diamond and there's all kinds of guys that have just kind of waited their turn, and I think that's what our program's been built on for the last 25 years or so. Just guys waiting for their turn, and it was a special group last year, but we're done talking about that group, and now it's this group's turn, and we got great leaders in Ryan and Mac Endress and Nate Schaff are our captains, and they're going to do a great job. And as far as the schedule, yeah, I mean, we want to be prepared for the playoffs, and Indian Trail's a fantastic team. They're picked to win the so, they got almost everybody back from that team that we beat in the sectional final last year. So this is a big amazing tonight. We're going to need him to continue to do that all season long, and without putting too much pressure on him, like he said, the defense really picked him up. The defense was outstanding, but Ryan, man, he was showing as good in the 6th and 7th inning as he was at the beginning there. So I'm excited about this group.
Yeah, so you told me before the game, let's see how the young guys did. So how did they do?
They did great. I mean, you want to talk about, Brian Simmons, for example, and I could talk about a bunch of them, but Brian Simmons was the shortstop on the JV2 team last year. So you want to talk about a kid that's put the work in. He's filling into his body. He's a really nice player. Blake Ulaszewski, obviously a special athlete. We got a freshman over at first base, Camden Jeske. I mean, it's 7 guys got their first varsity start tonight, and so I don't know that there's too many teams around the state that can say they started 7 guys in one game for the first time in a varsity game against a really good team. So we're excited, but as we just told the guys, it's great. We're going to celebrate this for a few hours and then get ready for tomorrow morning, and hopefully come out on top of 1 or 2 of those.
Coach, we'll be coming by you in a couple of weeks for the Slinger game, so we look forward to seeing you then.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. We're going to put you in the house now. So you know what to do, right?
Nope.
Okay, so take the mic. So I'm going to count you down from 3, 2, 1. You're just going to say your full name, and I'm in the house. You're going to look up there at the mic. I'm sure you can't see Elijah, but say, I'll get out the camera shot.
Are you Ryan Buck, I'm in the house.
Hey, that worked.
Appreciate it.
Good game today.
Thank you.
He did it. Signing off from here, Oak Creek defeats Indian Trail 8-3. Number 14 ranked Indian Trail, like Scott Holler says, they'll play 2 more games tomorrow at Oak Creek East Middle School. Otherwise, we're back tomorrow from the Dockhound Stadium in Oconomowoc. We got Eau Claire Memorial Arrowhead bright and early at 11 a.m. tomorrow, but we'll see you